What's up out there, guys and girls? Another week of TKN, the new network, Celebrity Tournament Prediction, coming from your boy, old Ray Dog himself, Stevie Ray. And today's combatants, or should I say tonight's combatants, are number one, Major League Baseball legend, a Mr. Johnny Damon. You know him. Went over to the Yankees, had to make himself a somebody. But somebody's who we have on the new network. Yeah, Johnny Damon. He's the real deal, y'all. So look for him to do what he does tonight. Even though he cut his hair, and I never really liked that. But be that as it may, a legend in his own right. Number two, not big in stature, but big in heart. And you guys all know who I'm talking about. Mugsy Bogues. Yeah, Muggsy's here tonight. And he's here to lay it on the line the same way he did on the court. That's right. And the one thing that I remember about Mugsy, and I want him to know this, is when he did the commercial with George Morrison with the legend Dale Earnhardt. And he had them both sitting in the back of his car and he wouldn't let them out to stretch their legs. That's right, Mugsy, I still remember it. Number three, last but not least, she is holding up the professional wrestling contingency. Yeah, y'all know how we do in these tournaments, brother. We don't waver. Mickie James is here tonight. One of my favorite professional wrestlers that is in the women's division that always made me smile when she did her thing, man. Mickie James is here. She's a legend in the professional wrestling world. And not only that, she sings country music also. Nobody do it the way we do it. But only two can move forward. Only two can move forward. And I have to make that prediction. So tonight, my two combatants that's moving forward are Mr. Mugsy Bogues. He can stretch his legs now because he's retired. And Mickie James, because Mickie always lays it on the line. You don't get no better than that. Sorry, Johnny. I know you made that big money in New York, but hey, dog, you always land on your feet. That's from your boy Stevie Ray tonight. Peace. See you. And I wouldn't want to be you.
This is different, and I love it, man, because it got me thinking like I was back at school again. I don't even know where you come up with these questions. I want to know how you come up with these. You're so innovative. I'm like, look, I mean, your mind is good, like you said. You're a history teacher, and your mind is going all over the place.
And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other.
You have something amazing going with the show because you're there and you're educating us.
Sure. Your platform gives us an opportunity to really let our guard down. And I've never told anybody in public about that experience with my dad. And on your platform, I don't know why I did that, because it's so comfortable and we're talking about things that matter.
I love the little anecdote of comedy with your would you pay for it? Would you not? That I love that. I love how you added that in to kind of break up the tension a little bit because it gets serious.
We want to know people's stories,
I concur.
And that's what TKN does, So I love
uplifting human being. Last name Ferrigno, first name Lou. Lou, welcome, my friend. Thank you. That's the best introduction I've ever heard in my life. You know something? You need to quit the show and be my moderator and travel with me.
Together for a majestic, out of this world, one of a kind human being. First name Vivica, last name Fox. Welcome, my friend.
Whoa, that was an awesome introduction. Let me tell you that. I don't think I've ever had anyone read my resume with such flow.
Avi is a poet, but he doesn't know it, but his feet show it.
You're unbelievable.
Last name Wilkins, first name Lenny. Lenny, welcome, my friend, to the celebrity tournament.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to this. It should be fun.
Last name Murphy, first name Calvin. Calvin, welcome to the tournament, my friend.
Damn. You said it just like I wrote it.
But these rhymes are going to wind down as I've reached the home stretch, the one and only Tretch. I
You
appreciate
better
it.
a lot of these rappers out there.
You gave me good eargasm tonight, man. I love your voice. I love the things that you talk about.
Well, you're the best I've seen. You're the Michael Jordan or LeBron James, whoever you want to make the GOAT.
This is why your audiences love you. This is why you continue to great guests, and great guests beget great guests.
I just want to do this again and again. I feel like I've made friends. And again, I've taken the competition part of it out because I've just enjoyed talking to you guys tonight.
Oh man, most definitely. This is, I think my top. I think the way you do the intro you gave me, I gotta give it to you. I like.
You deserve it. Because if you don't heal from what hurts you, you'll bleed on people that never even cut you to begin with. It had nothing to do with your pain.
All right.
So
tell him, tell him.
You guys are bringing the best out of me.
I mean, yes, pain is inevitable. I mean, there's a reason we have these sensors in our body. I mean, they're warning signs. In other words, something hurts. Obviously, something is amiss.
But she would sit at the kitchen table looking out the window for quite a period of time while the food was getting prepared. And I wish I had took that time to sit down with her and ask her questions about her being a child, along with my aunts, my uncles, so I could not only be a blessing to her and know more and sympathize and love her more as a mother, but also to know more about myself and my sisters and understand where we've come from.
This thing has drawn me out of myself and thereby drawn me into myself. But I learned a lot. And from you, Avi, I always learned something from you.
Continue to work as hard as you can, because by working, Avi, you will keep yourself busy and get used to the grief.
More underrated, we have Billy D. Williams, Italian man named Skippy, or Unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian men named Skippy. Put me away, Avi.
Archie Bunker, the mountain climber. Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor. Or Don Corleone, the computer repair person.
It's clearly an issue with the hard drive.
I'm going to go Don Corleone.
Here, the reason I'm going for Christmas is because it does create those amazing memories that I've and Sarge, I know you've been there too, because I've seen you at so many different great events for Muscular Dystrophy Association.
You compete with yourself. So Joe Reed, especially working with him, taking pictures in the magazine, helping me to shape my body and educate my mind.
There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder.
God, matters not how strait the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
There is nothing that was on TV tonight that even remotely rivals what we did on this broadcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Barry, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and one of the NBA's top 50 players. And I'm really excited to tell you about my new relationship in the broadcasting world with the new network.
It's TKN, and a young man named Avi Klein has poured his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this new network and assembling an amazing group of individuals.
Legends from every walk of life who are just bringing their knowledge and their experience and their wisdom, and this is amazing. I feel like this is a cosmic convergence of what is most important to him, and he's such a stand-up guy.
Avi, congratulations. I don't know anybody that can talk as much as you. Seriously, I thought I could talk. You are unreal. What you do it with class, understanding, professionalism. You're simply amazing. I told you that when I first met you, and you ran off my autobiography. It basically was a book. It was simply fantastic. And to think that you do that every show.
He's very respectful, and he really connects with the artists and his audiences, and I felt like this guy's on to something, and I'm proud to be a part of this with him.
And I really thank your support. I lost my father, and you were the first person to support me and all that, and I thank you so much for that.
The greatest wealth is when you can share it with someone. You can share your victories, you can share your failure, you can express your deepest feelings, but the greatest wealth is to be able to say that I have a friend, and I feel an unbelievable level of wealth, and a lot of that is because I have somebody like you.
Are you here to win the whole darn tournament?
I don't play. I just win.
Robert, would you like to win this entire tournament?
You know, all those luminaries and athletes and strongmen notwithstanding, the most dangerous place on this show is between me and that prize. That's all I'm going to say.
You're chomping at the bit to get in this thing.
Oh, yeah, man. I've been telling you, brother. You brought up some names to me, and I was like, I can't wait. I hope they don't see me because it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones, baby, and I'm not playing.
Are you here to win the entire thing, my friend?
I'll just say this, Avi. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
But are you here to win the entire celebrity tournament when it's all said and done?
I saw a very familiar face in Mike Rotundo, better known as IRS, and he said that he was here for the winner chicken dinner, and I want to take away that chicken dinner, so yes, I want to win this whole shebang.
Last name Smith, first name Joe. Joe Smith, welcome, my friend.
Oh my God, Avi. Where did you get all of that from? Oh my God.
There you guys have it. The name of the marquee says it all. Mickie James, Mugsy Bogues, Johnny Damon. Guys, this is the second round of the celebrity tournament. As you know, three-way match, 2 out of 3 move on to the third round. And guys and gals and pals, I promise you right now that the real reason right now that we are doing what we're doing is because of you. You're the engine that makes this thing go. And why don't we give a hand already to Mickie James, Mugsy Bogues, and Johnny Damon before this second round appearance, because they are illuminating. They are epitomizing what this really is. It's a sport of the mind, but it has a lot of soul. And as you guys know, no matter who wins this thing, this is a place where strangers leave as friends, because this isn't a podcast. I'm not an interviewer. I'm a conversationalist. And we thank Amazon Prime for believing in us. We thank Progresso Soup for believing in us. We thank the studio system for right now understanding that we can do something positive and succeed. Because last year they said, oh, a positive tournament? that has everything to do with camaraderie, it's not going to go anywhere. Ha! You were wrong, guys and gals, because here we are right now. We are showing everyone that we can be as positive as we are entertaining, as educating as we are together and united. I know that sounds sappy, but I'd rather be sappy than cynical. So guys and gals and pals, don't worry, the rhymes, they're coming. But most importantly, let's talk about these participants and show you a 60-second video package to introduce all of them one at a time, starting with Mickie James. Guys and gals and pals, I have a quote that I want to bring up. There's no passion to be found playing small when you settle for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living. When you catch a glimpse of your potential, that's when passion is born.
I listened to a lot of music first, and one day I started singing, and I could sing. It was like it was a surprise.
When I write a tune, it's just about the way I feel. They're all about the way people's insides. In the world, except music. That's the only thing you got, man. After you boil it down, the only thing you got left in the world is that music, man. And so for a woman to sing, she really needs to or wants to.
You see, this whole success thing, it hasn't yet really compromised the position that I took a long time ago. That was to be true to myself, to be the person that was on the inside of me, and not play games. I said that's what I'm trying to do mostly. If I in the whole
they could go no farther from A to B, and they could make you feel like they told you the whole universe.
I didn't make that stand because I was strong by any means, or that I felt like, oh, by doing this. But I think that it was a life-changing moment because I was no longer allowing myself to be a victim. I think the greatest gift that I didn't even plan or even see coming for me, that really humbled me, and it gave me new purpose, and it gave me a real sense of peace, was my son.
That's what it's all about, guys and gals and pals. These entertainers, these celebrities, as you call them, they have a life, and they prioritize what matters. It starts with family, it ends with passion, and somewhere in between, if you got some love in there, you're pretty fortunate. Guys and gals and pals, our first participant has a heart climbed higher heights, unclimbed by many yet. Her undenying, unwavering, and infinite passion has never met a sunset. She grew up on a horse farm in Virginia, in which her grandma owned 47 acres. This, before her ambition left many in awe, including many movers and shakers. As kids, nothing could keep us down, not even a case of chicken pox. She was entertaining as a kid, recording tapes of herself singing Whitney Houston tunes on her boombox. At a rather young age, horse riding was her life, and she started riding when she was only 4 years old. She was competing, doing horse shows by the time she was 6, and the following must be told, because before the championship belts, this is where she first won gold. She did this throughout weekends and summers, as she assumed that she would become a horse trainer. As an adult, the world would see how multifaceted she was as an entertainer, who would take a blank canvas and fill it up with beautiful works of art like a dedicated painter. And if that wasn't enough, she introduced the masses to her amazing voice. Think country music meets Gloria Gaynor. She was born at Richmond Memorial Hospital in Richmond, Virginia, the daughter of Stewart, a retired wastewater treatment worker, landscaper, and a League Division III championship coach. Her mother, Sandra, was a real estate agent and Hanover County teacher. Recognizing such contributions is always my approach. This incredible participant tonight also played the violin for 5 years, from her last year of middle school through high school as well. This before she kicked some ass whenever the ring keeper would ring that bell. During high school, she worked summers as a lifeguard at King's Dominion and waitressed at the Cracker Barrel in Ashland during her high school years. After high school and martial art classes for self-defense, her path became rather clear. She's a Native American from the Powhatan tribe. There are Powhatan 6 tribes in total, all in Virginia, which are necessary to describe. There would be no aspirin, syrup, or canoes without this incredible tribe that taught us so very much. In the early years of expeditions, all one had to do was inquire and ask the Dutch. This incredible lady watched pro wrestling with her dad when she'd see him on the television, as it created a bond. These were the seeds that were planted. As dedication is how we succeed, there was no magic wand. Her bouncer friend recommended she go to a wrestling school in Manassas, Virginia, which was 2 hours away. November of 98, she went to her first day of training in wrestling, the dues she would pay, and she was definitely, guys and gals, on her way. They recommended that she sign up as a valet, but she preferred to wrestle instead. Wrestling is what I want to do, she said. She had a vision and was able to see what lay ahead. The school was, in fact, guys and gals, in the back of a martial arts center, and they used the boxing ring. This is the stuff of champions, not the pageantry, pizzazz, and the bling-bling. Training with Kaita Pro, she braced out and went to MCW, which was 3 to 4 hours away, but she attended this twice a week. Danny McDivitt was cool with her transferring schools because of her incredible technique. She made her semi-professional wrestling debut in 1999 at a National Guard Armory Yard. By the early 2000s, she was working the semi-pro circuit up and down the East Coast. Soon, she would become an absolute legend. But her humble nature meant that she would never boast. So allow me to boast. I'm the host. All I have to do is sip this water here and give her a good old-fashioned toast. She excelled and competed against the very best. And no matter what the test, she was consistent, professional, and talented. Her amazing attitude and personality brought people together. She, in fact, was the glue. Ring of Honor was next, and soon she would wrestle for TNA, including the very first pay-per-view. She signed a developmental contract with WWE, and after 2 years with OVW, she was called on the main roster. Her character was that of a die-hard fan. Speaking of Whitney Houston, call her bodyguard. Where are you at, Kevin Costner? She's a master of her craft. And listen to the following professional accolades, accomplishments, and achievements. She won the Cauliflower Alley Club's Women Wrestling Award in 2023. She's an FCW Women's Champion, Pro Wrestling Illustrated Woman of the Year in 2009, 2011. She was ranked #1 at the top 50 female wrestlers in the PWI Female 50 in 2009. She's a 5-time TNA Knockouts World Champion, a winner of the Impact Year-End Award, a former WWE Divas Champion, a 5-time WWE Women's Champion, winner of the Jim Thorpe Sports Award in 2019. And if that isn't enough, in 2017, she was inducted into the Native American Music Awards Hall of Fame, placing her alongside fellow inductees Link Ray, Hank Williams, and Jimi Hendrix, and she won a NAMI for Song of the Year with her single Shooting Blanks. She can make you laugh with her humor and cry with her authenticity like a mid-90s Tom Hanks. She's versatile, the opposite of the word obtuse. But do you know what I'd like to bring up and introduce? The fact that she raises awareness and does so much to enlighten the masses about child abuse. Stranger and Angels, Someone's Gotta Pay. Her albums and singles have won awards, and her singing voice, vocal variety, and range are truly something to behold. I'm honored to have shared some of this information, as her story always deserves to be told. Ending these rhymes isn't easy, as there's always more, so it's tricky. She can excel any way she wants, which gives her a right to be picky. So put your hands together for a kind, intelligent, warm-hearted, and genuine human being. Last name James, first name Mickey. Welcome to round 2, my friend.
Thank you. I have no words after that introduction. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you deserve every bit of it. Are you kidding me? I could have kept going, Mickey.
I was just cracking up over here. I'm like, how does he do this? I don't even know.
Well, how do you do what you do? Because again, I think this is the cool thing about being in the same circles, writing for 20 years for the studio system. We understand how shallow and superficial the industry could be, but the people within it have stories to tell. Your story, the way you opened up and showcased your vulnerability, was not something you had to do. But when you did that, it meant so much to so many people that messaged us, the viewers, the sponsors. You are a very warm-hearted human being, and it strikes me that you would probably consider it a compliment, even more so than any personal accolade, when somebody says that you inspired them. Am I right, Mickey?
It's an incredible honor to think that you could inspire anyone. I think that is the hope of any of us, especially the people that you seem to have. And I think that was why I was so willing and open, because everybody was so authentic and open. And,
Sure.
I think as an artist of whatever you do, whatever your craft is, you desire to be the best, or at least the best that you can be. And that somebody inspired you along the way, and you hope to return that favor and inspire others. So yeah, that's always cool.
And you do it so well, and you do it effortlessly. But guys, here's what's not effortless is the work you have to put behind everything. Mickie James works. Mugsy Bogues, Johnny Damon, they work. They roll up their sleeves and they let their passion speak for themselves, but they do the work. And guys and gals and pals, let's not forget that the work in this tournament brings people together, doesn't drive them apart. But at the end of the day, 1 out of 145 Hall of Famers and luminaries and award winners is going to go to Greece, first class, 5 days, 5 nights, 15 grand as well. Mickie James, would you like to win the entire thing?
Of course I do. I want to win. I told you before, Greece is like my dream vacation.
Yes.
I've always wanted to go to Greece. Never had a chance. I'm going regardless, but I'm really hoping that I win. So that way, I win it.
I love it. I love it, Mickie. Thank you again for being who you are. I'm going to put you backstage momentarily and bring you right back.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mickie. Guys, we appreciate Mickie James again. Again, there's everyone who's on this screen over here, Johnny Dane, Mugsy Bogues, and Mickie James. When the camera's off, what they do for all of you is what inspires me every single day, and that is, as they say in wrestling, that's a shoot. That's honest. Guys and gals and pals, speaking of inspirational, our next participant right now has given so much to so many people. When a kid has a dream, and he can visualize that dream, and he put actions behind that dreams, and he starts taking steps and gets closer and closer to that dream, that's all the ammunition and motivation that one truly needs.
If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. You must have, as a basic principle, the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor, to seek to make your nation a better nation in which to live. You have a responsibility to seek to make life better for everybody.
Come then discovering the Calvin Murphys and the Charlie Chris, seeing those actually on that type of stage and that type of setting, it really started to, doing a lot of things in my brain. I start visualizing. I start really thinking that, man, can I really play this game with these guys? If I could title a screenplay, what would I title it? No Small Thing. Yes. No Small Thing. That will be the title of it. And that will be the journey of my life in terms of where I've come from, the little kid from the project to the gospel of small ball.
The man is an absolute giant, guys and gals and pals, a giant. And that's why he continues to inspire every single day. They say real knows real and game knows game. It took me 5 seconds to talk to Mugsy Bogues and go, man, this guy's the real deal when it comes to motivating people every single day. And we thank him for that. Our next participant was born on January 65 in Baltimore, Maryland, the youngest child of Richard and Elaine. He grew up with his brothers Richard and Anthony and sister Sharon, but times weren't easy, as I continue to explain why he overcame so much before he became a player that on the court was nearly impossible to contain. He grew up in the Lafayette public housing projects of the city's east side and dealt with many adversities, even as a tot. At age 5, he was hospitalized after the store owner of Old Manchester fired off a stray buckshot. That was a traumatic experience, guys and gals and pals, to go through all of that at that age. And while many would rage, he would become such an inspiration to kids with advice that was rather sage. His mom had to go back to night school to take care of 4 kids, and he dreamed of one day paying her back. His dreams would be fulfilled because ambition, pride, and work ethic were qualities that he didn't lack. When he used to go on the basketball court and hear all the negative words like, you're too small, why are you pursuing this game? It simply made him stronger. When he met Leon Hardwick, who gave him the information on how to navigate the court, he could strive to thrive longer and longer. During his junior and senior years of high school, he helped lead the greatest high school basketball team of all time, bar none, Dunbar, to become one of the greatest high school basketball teams of all time. And as all they did was win because they were consistent as your favorite, guys and gals, maybe perhaps soup or veggie, what do you expect? When in this man's case, he shared the court with NBA great David Wingate and 2 future NBA greats named Reggie. They were his best high school team, guys and gals, bar none. And in the U.S., in the annals of history, no one can compare to them because they won an amazing 59 games in a row as their opponents couldn't keep up and gave into fatigue. This man was voted the most valuable player on his team in the city's public school league. After being recruited by several top colleges, he chose and enrolled in Wake Forest University in 1983. He came into his own as a point guard as he ranked top 10 in assists nationally. He played on the U.S. national team that won the World Championships in Spain in 1987. His senior year at Wake Forest was equally distinguished as his legion of fans felt like they were in basketball heaven. The school retired his jersey number after he graduated with his BA degree with an Atlantic Coast Conference record of 579 assists. He's in the pantheon of greatest distributors on the court as he shows up on most people's lists. He was selected 12 in the first round of the NBA draft by the Washington Bullets and gained plenty of attention with his unique ball handling skills. As a Charlotte Hornet, he provided many of thrills, and if you bet against his success, you'd probably lose some old dollar bills. He had an insane 44-inch vertical, and there was no better player to come out of the draft to run a basketball team. Despite being the smallest NBA player ever, he gave others hope as their reality was preceded by a beautiful dream. It's time for me to make the grade by listing many of his accolades. He led the ACC in assists and steals in 84-85 and 85-86. He set a record for assists in an ACC game with 17 against North Carolina in 1986. He earned first-team All-ACC honors as a senior in 87. He was inducted into the Wake Forest Sports Hall of Fame in 2001. He holds several Hornets records, including career steals and assists. He runs the Family Foundation, which provides underserved communities with access to education and job training. He played for the U.S. national team in the 86 FIBA World Championships. He won the gold medal, and under coach Lute Olson, he played in all 10 of the team's games and led the team in assists and steals. As one of the most popular players of all time, this, guys and gals, this man has a plethora of film and TV credits to his name. But despite the fame, the acclaim, and his legendary game, his heart is still the same. So give it up for a man that always ushers in the joy and endless glee as I welcome a humble, kind, heartfelt, intelligent, and sincere human being. Last name Bogues, first name Muggsy. Welcome to round 2, my friend.
Thank you, my partner. Thank you, boy. You do it like no other. I tell you, it is well deserving in terms of the seat that you're sitting in, because you definitely have the gab of the give in terms of being able to put it all in great content. So thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
Oh, man, you totally deserve it. I was telling Mickie James as well, I got the best seat in the house over here because I get to be inspired by you and by Mickie and by Johnny Damon and every single person here because, as you know, by being part of round 1 with Sidney Moncrief and also Paul McKeskey, man, I love being able to peel back the layers and show everybody that we can be civil, have a good time, entertain at the same time, and then learn from each other. And Muggsy, this is a place where strangers leave as friends.
Absolutely, and I'm so grateful. I met Johnny already. It's a great opportunity to finally meet Mickie. So I'm just in awe and in awe just be able to be in their presence because I am true fans of the both of them. You know, Mickie don't realize that I watched her 2017 double match against Becky and her and Trinity when they was going against each other. And of course, Johnny, in terms of what he's done on that field, I've been a fan of him for quite some time. We got the opportunity to meet him when we was at the Alonzo Mourning golf tournament. So I am just honored to be in this, be on this show, and the things that you bring together, the fans that you bring together, the athletes that you bring together. It's amazing.
Thank you, my friend, and you're a huge part of that as well. And I'll ask you the same question I like to ask everybody. You do inspire a lot of people. You've received so many awards and personal accolades. I've listed a few of them, but there is no greater accolade than listening to somebody tell you years later that you inspired them. Am I right, Muggsy?
Absolutely. I mean, to be able to make someone's day, and that's why I don't understand why athletes don't take that little 1 second, that little time to sign, to take a picture, or just interact with their fans, because that's what makes us. I mean, being able to walk the streets and have someone to tell you how much they appreciate you, how much you impact their lives. And it could be something just simple, but to bring a smile and the joy to that individual, man, I tell you, that is God's will. And I'm just thankful to be able to be in his presence, to be his child, and continue to spread the message that he would like us to continue to treat others as you would like others to treat you.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend, I can tell you this. This is definitely some, it's conjecture, but I think it's actually a fact that you have allowed most people to work their cheekbones out because you make us smile every time, man. You really do that. You bring the best out of people. There's no doubt about that. And Muggsy, I got to ask you the same question as well. At the end of the day, it's a sport of the mind. We love that. It's competitive camaraderie. There's the camaraderie there. But hey, nothing wrong with good old-fashioned competition as well. 15 grand, 5-day trip to Greece. Would you like to win it all, my friend?
I would love to win it. My wife would love for me to win it because that would be a trip for her as well as for me. But I mean, competition is always fun. You know, when you compete against the best, I always say, you know, if I play against the best, I have success against the best, I must be included with the best.
Ooh.
But I'm trying to take it away from the best.
Oh, I like that. I like that a ton, man. Guys and gals, I love the energy here. Miss Mickie James, Mr. Mugsy Bogues, I'll put you backstage for a moment, my friend, and bring you right in. NBA legend, guys, Mugsy Bogues, and so much more. What he does for the community, same with Mickie James, same with Johnny Damon. That's the story that speaks to yours truly, and I know to all of you as well. Guys and gals and pals, let's bring in our third participant right now. I want to give him a quote as well, because guys and gals and pals, that will be followed by a very, very brief intro, and then I'll bring him in. Mickie James and Mugsy, all of us will be on screen. I'll introduce topic number one. You guys can play along as well. Our final participant, he's definitely class personified. He's become a fast friend, and he exemplifies the spirit of positivity. And that happens to be one of the all-time great qualities he has, in addition to also being one of the all-time greats in his field. He set goals, and he accomplished each and every one of them. He's turned the invisible into the visible through sheer dedication and absolute tireless effort.
The character that you usually see is sporadic nature. He's too fantastic for reality. He does many things, and you have to select and constantly reevaluate your images, as you say, is what you envision as the character.
Life can be beautiful.
Continues constant simplification. Constant leaning down to the specific point at hand, the line of the story, what the character is trying to do at this moment. Constantly trying to find the core, so to speak.
Know who I am. Know what I'm like.
Well, then it should be an indelible lesson. Father, which I seem to be doing quite frequently.
I love you too.
The seasons and the championships, they seem to be very easy when it's all said and done, but there's nothing easy about playing 162 games and a 180 game schedule. In baseball, playing for whatever team, I was booed so many times, been loved and hated everywhere, but Chris Cornell, anyone who goes to a show, they love him, and I just wanted to make sure that he was all right before he passed.
Great human being, guys and gals and pals. And again, you brought up Chris Cornell. Man, you talk about inspiration. You talk about someone who gives you inspiration to write and write and write. That man had it. Guys and gals and pals, so does this man. And again, it takes 5 seconds to appreciate his authenticity. He was born in Fort Riley, Kansas, to parents Jimmy and Yomi, who met during the Vietnam War at his mother's native Thailand. This is where his father served as an Army sergeant. I thank him for his service, and I'm honored to give him a hand. His mother's father practiced holistic medicine while his mother farmed, and soon it was off to the States. Shortly thereafter, she would give birth to our next participant, truly one of the all-time greats. The firstborn James was born in Bangkok in 1979, and the family lived on bases in Okinawa and Germany. They moved to Illinois before settling in Orlando, which was key because he was a preschooler many years before he became a top MLB draftee who provided the fans with glee, as it doesn't take an MC to realize that his talents made the fans scream like an overjoyed banshee. The children in his Florida neighborhood were not particularly open-minded, but his positive outlook allowed him to persevere through some rather difficult times. His humanitarian efforts that have helped countless children are the heartbeat to these very rhymes. So excuse me while I continue to drop some dimes during these prime times, back in the days before he was even a teenager, during a time where the only form of communication was an old-school pager. He always had energy, even at 4 years old. On a trip to Thailand with his mom on a train, he did something rather bold. He was always running and almost fell off the train if it weren't for his mom, who saved him like a superhero, yet still he remained calm. As a child, he idolized his brother, James, who was a standout athlete. He got into sports to emulate his brother. Soon, we'd have a front row seat to witness his excellence like Rocky Marciano, who never knew defeat, or mid-90s Alonzo Mourning elevating the Miami Heat. He was more thorough with a 1985 original Microsoft spreadsheet. You all enjoying this? So just close your eyes and create your own beat. He would shine in South Orange Little League as a child, but that didn't surprise many. He owned his skills as a teenager, living in the middle-class area in Orlando with a bunch of tough kids who considered playing sports tons of fun. They would even run into, guys and gals, into trees, as that made him tough. They would stay out all night and play baseball until dark like a flock of vampires who all feared the sun. By age 13, he stood 6 feet and weighed 180 pounds and wouldn't miss a game while others sat out with their flus or colds. Thanks to the strength, speed, and look, he was able to sneak his way into a baseball league for 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. In the spring of '89, he won the varsity starting center field job as a freshman for the Mighty Panthers. He would go on to be the first 4-year starter in school history and draw attention from big league clubs as a sophomore. Ironically, he was the best track athlete in the school, something that all guys and gals and me couldn't even ignore. Through sheer effort and dedication, he would star for his high school's baseball team and football teams from winter to fall. As a linebacker, he stopped playing after his sophomore year to concentrate on baseball. With his developing plate discipline, a .371 batting average, and straight A grades, he was also a hell of a student. A rhyme without an acknowledgement to education, that wouldn't be prudent. Kansas City Royals general manager Allard Baird knew that he was a fierce competitor. That's something that's never changed. Seeing him in action tonight in the celebrity tournament, all you got to do is sit back and relax because this has already been arranged. He had his high expectations, even as a 17-year-old, but he always had a will to win. Even in the 7th grade, he caught the attention of Dr. Phillips' high school baseball coach, Danny Ali. He was impressed by how hard he worked, which, considering his age, was rather uncanny. Even parents would rush from work to see him play. All you had to do was call your nanny. His game was smooth, like Scarface's old buddy Manny. You know who blushed when she watched him playing? None other than my granny. He opened his senior baseball campaign amid a tidal wave of media coverage as he was baseball's America's preseason pick for the top prep player in the nation. ESPN concurred and also announced that he was quite the sensation and he could be the first pack in the draft. We also cheered as his opponents feared the fact that he was excellent in his craft. He was cool as a mid-70s detective named Shaft. He was selected by the Kansas City Royals in the first round of quite a draft in 1995. A few years later, this man would thrive as he led the American League in runs with 136 and stolen bases. With 46, his game was honey, like a bee kicking back in its hive. His game was honey, guys and gals. In 2002, he led the league in triples and was third in infield hits, becoming the first player selected by the fans in the inaugural American League All-Star Final vote. You want to talk about a monumental milestone? If you will, please allow me to gloat. On June 27, 2003, he became only the second player in history since 1900 to record 3 base hits in an inning. Boston thanks him to this day because it was a huge reason as to why they were finally winning. In 2004, he was second in the league in runs and began to reestablish himself among the premier leadoff hitters and center fielders in the game. And despite the fame, and the name, and the acclaim, he was always modest and still the same. And he was only the 4th leadoff batter in history of MLB to drive in more than 90 runs in a season. Missing out on his overall excellence should be a crime considered worse than treason. Gracing covers of publications such as Sports Illustrated, an MVP Player of the Month, a Boston Red Sox champion. His resume is amazing as he's one of the all-time greats, and when you see him now, you might just spill your drink. So grab a Bounty or a Brawny. He had class while kicking ass like Clyde and his gal Bonnie. So put your hands together for a wonderful, kind, humble human being. Last name Damon, first name Johnny. Welcome to round 2 of the tournament, my friend.
All right. I love it. Avi, you're amazing, buddy.
Yes,
and thank you. I mean, I don't need to give myself a pat on the back because I know I have you as a friend. So thank you very much. Great to be back, and really looking forward to this.
Man, it is my honor, my friend, because again, like I said to Muggsy and Mickey, you guys have this quality of lighting up a room. You do it all the time. There's no doubt about that. There's so much you're doing right now to help people. We talked about that before the show started. We'll get into that after topic number 1. But my friend, I got to ask you this question before I talk about Greece and the prize. You have helped a lot of people. Is there something that can possibly compete with having someone give you grace by saying you've helped them, even more so than any personal accolade you've ever achieved?
No, none at all. I think the greatest honor was being the first athlete spokesperson for the Wounded Warrior Project. Every time I would go play in Baltimore, I would get the guys and ask them, who wants to go to Walter Reed with me? And a lot of guys said it's too early. And
sure.
I would sometimes get the guys to come with me, but going to see our troops, not recognizing them, and then see them 5 years, 10 years, 15 years later thanking me for I'm gonna tear up for caring. Goes a long ways. So yeah. You got me already.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I knew I wasn't gonna cry. Avi,
Well, man, you're making me cry too. I mean, at least I got these shades. I can hide behind these shades over here. But I'll tell you what, man, there's no hiding when it comes to your heart being on full display. And I think post game and post retirement could be tough for a lot of people in Mickey's field, your field, Muggsy's field. But the way you guys embrace life, I feel like you were going to be a success story in the second chapter of your life, regardless, because you have a way. And again, Muggsy and Mickey do as well. You guys have a way of knowing that giving back is the ultimate prize. It is the ultimate prize. There's nothing that comes close to being more rewarding than that. That being said, why not give it back to people you might meet in a different country like, I don't know, Greece, for instance. Greece, what if you win? What if you go to Greece? 15 grand, 5-day trip to Greece. Would you like to win it all, my friend?
I want to win it all. I've been to Greece one time. It was fantastic. You can go swimming in the ocean with your eyes open and they don't burn. The food is fantastic. You can eat as much as you want and you won't gain weight. And everything's beautiful there. So I'm glad I have this opportunity. I hope I have the chance to get back to Greece. It's a beautiful country, but I'm definitely going back sometime, regardless. But I'm bringing my A game to you.
I love that. I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. Guys, Johnny's been to Greece. Maybe he'll be there again via this tournament. Let's bring in Mugsy Bogues and Mickie James right now. We're all on screen together. Is there a shot? Is there a shot that, a trip for 2 to Greece, if one of you win,
No.
Am I coming? Am I coming? Is there a shot? No shot. I don't blame you. You know what? That's fine. I got Progresso soup. I'll be munching on that. I love Progresso. We'll talk about them later. Guys and gals and pals, Johnny Damon, Mugsy Bogues, Mickie James right now. Let's kick it over to Johnny first, but I'm going to set up the topic. I'll set it up first so our fans know what it is. Johnny, I'm going to give you the chance to go first. Take all the time you need. Rebutting, is that optional? Of course. No one has to rebut. But if somebody wants to rebut, all you got to do is pop the index finger up. I pop in. I make it official. You could rebut somebody while they're presenting or after they're presenting. It's totally up to you, and it's optional, of course. You don't have to. I call this topic Jamming and Grand Slamming with History. In this fun-filled first topic, you've been assigned to go back in time on a special mission. There's an objective to prevent one major war that took place in the past, and you're going to do so by escorting one of the world leaders of that war that you want to prevent to any rock concert in the annals of history. And you're going to follow that up by taking this world leader to any sporting event in history. The objective is simple. It's to inspire this world leader through music and through sports. So, Johnny, which war will you be choosing to prevent and why? Which world leader would you take with you in this journey through time and why? Which rock concert do you select to take them to? And which sporting event do you select to take them to as well? Take all the time in the world that you need, my friend. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Avi. You look fantastic. I love the red that you have on, but I'm definitely taking my wife to Greece. This is a really tough subject. I would say the Vietnam War. Even though I am a product of the Vietnam War, I think that's when the deep state started running our country. I mean, the assassination of JFK, the assassination of Martin Luther King, that was a very difficult time in our country. And I feel like this war was a war that we could never win, even though I mentioned I'm a product. My father met my mom in Thailand. I just feel like there was a lot of money, a lot of corruption happening in our country. Politicians started making a lot of money back in the day. And, the guy who's in office right now, I'll take Donald Trump. I mean, he's there to stop wars, stop the killing. He's already slowed down the Ukraine and Russia war. He's trying to get Israel peace. He's trying to put our country first, and he's trying to get rid of the deep state. And he's been my friend for over 20 years. The art of the deal. Let's stop the killing. Let's stop the war. And hopefully, that happens soon for many people around the world. Where I would take him on this journey and why, which rock concert would I take him to? You know, I would take him to Woodstock. I mean, the talent that we had at Woodstock was absolutely amazing. We got CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Santana. We have Grateful Dead, Joan Baez, man, so many. Janis Joplin. You have Jimi Hendrix. You have Crosby, Stills, and Nash. You got Joe Cocker. You have so many great talent there, and a lot of them went out there to want peace, to not have war, to show love. I think that's a great place to find the passion that people have and understanding. And I think taking him to Woodstock would be fantastic. And the sporting event that I would take him to would be the Thrilla in Manila, because he loves boxing. He loved Muhammad Ali and loves Mike Tyson. So, and that was one of the greatest fights of all time. It's going to go down in history as one of the best, but I also know President Trump just loves boxing.
Yeah, and gosh, we lost one of the greatest of all time recently in George Foreman.
Yes.
Who recently passed away. Man, I know you guys probably had the chance to meet him. Would you consider George Foreman? I mean, I would consider him someone who was able to inspire other athletes when they realized that they were about to enter the post-career of their lives, because he sort of reinvented himself after he boxed, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Hulk Hogan was originally talked about to have the grill, and George Foreman, with his larger-than-life personality, I mean, he was awesome. I loved hearing him talk. He loved his family, and just a great champion.
When he shook my hand, and he promised me he shook it without any sort of pressure at all, I felt like I was trembling. My knuckles became one. They were compressed. That's how strong this guy was. There's no doubt about that. But he had such a soft side to him, which was great. You're right. Hogan got stuck with the mixer. He got the grill. Apparently, Hogan didn't answer the phone in time. They had the same agent. That's how it kind of worked out. That's how the old mop flops. But, you bring up something interesting about the 60s because, yeah, I mean, no leadership. 63, John F. Kennedy, at the time, he's trying to back channel through the Pope with Khrushchev to end the Cold War. Nobody knew that. But then he gets assassinated. Khrushchev gets overthrown in 64 a year later. And then LBJ realizes, wait a minute, if JFK had to talk about the military-industrial complex and he got killed as a result, I can't do that. I'm going to double down. He sends more troops to Vietnam in that first wave. He doesn't run in 68. Robert F. Kennedy gets assassinated in 68. Martin Luther King Jr. gets assassinated in 68. After that jerk Hoover bugged him. He bugged him. He had tapes bugging Martin Luther King, which was illegal. Shame on him for doing that. And then, of course, we get the ultimate comeback in Richard Nixon, who we know through Watergate what happened there as far as betraying us. Then we get Gerald Ford as a placeholder, and Gerald Ford essentially was someone we couldn't trust either because he was in charge of that sham of a Warren Commission, of course, that investigated JFK's assassination. And we get Jimmy Carter in 76. Yay, one of us, but he only gets one term because, God forbid, the powers that be would let one of us get more than one term. That's not how they roll. So you're right. There was no leadership during that war. And it's so cool to be able to say, hey, the antithesis of that decade shouldn't be defined by politicians. It should be defined by the last 4 months of 69, which was Woodstock. That was supposed to inspire people. That was the end of the counterculture era. I mean, a few weeks later, there was the Manson murders. That's a different story. But during that one period of time, in some very, very remote place in upstate New York, everybody was gathered together to actually celebrate peace. And maybe, just maybe, if some of our politicians and world leaders could do that, maybe there'd be less cynicism. So, man, that's so deep. And I loved the boxing match that you picked. That was one of the first pay-per-views that ever aired. So, all around, I think any world leader that has blood pumping through their veins would be inspired by that, Johnny. So, thank you for painting a picture. That was so detailed and so awesome. That's Johnny Damon, guys and gals. Really appreciate that. I'm going to kick it over right now to Mickie James, and I won't read the whole thing, but I'm just going to summarize this again. My friend, you're going back in time, and you're going to grab a world leader from any point in history, present or past. You're going to take them to a rock concert of your choosing from the past. You're going to take them to a sporting event as well from the past. Which world leader would you take with you? Which war would you prevent? And then which rock concert and sporting event do you take them to and why? My friend, the floor is yours.
I want to first off start by saying I am no historian by any means. Johnny, I loved your answer. I thought it was so good. It actually hit a lot of points that I thought I had to like do some research. I'm so glad that you sent this question ahead of time, because I think just coming in blank, I would have just probably looked like an idiot because I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. But I do have a strong, I hate war. I'm so against it. I think that often war is about many things that we don't even know. And it's you got to follow the money, right? And you talked about the rise of the military industrial complex and the money to be made behind that. And the Vietnam War is awful. It was awful, awful war. But if I was to go back in time and try to stop any of them, not that I could, even the idea of like, oh, you can go back and try to stop a war, like little old you, go ahead and go. I would say World War II. I think that it really opened and set the stage of all these wars that kind of come after, and the amount of people that profited off of that war, and then the war out of it, selling to both sides and all of these other things that we don't even take into account as just everyday citizens because we're just trying to live our lives, right? So yeah, I think that and if I was to take one person, I wanted to go with somebody kind of unconventional because I'm like, I don't really know, whose mind can you really change, because there's so many deep-rooted reasons as to why someone thinks that the way they think and their traumas and all of those things. And can you unpack those in 1 or 2 nights? Probably not. But I did some research and I did think about who I thought probably had the most to gain after that war, during and after that war. And it led back to the money of Prescott Bush, which was then George Bush's father, and then Bush Jr. And you think about how he, with the banking system, how much he profited and was, thought to was investigated and all that things of selling back to the Nazis even after the war, and the rise of that military industrial complex and how it became an economy. The war itself became really an economy and a money-making thing for so many people while others suffer. So yeah, that's kind of where I went with that whole thing. And I think it's scary because I think we are even still living in, you can see it all the time in the wars that we've seen and been through in our lives, I guess. And I also was going to take him to Woodstock because it is the polar opposite. It is everything of preaching, of leading with love and peace and, being united in one purpose and our purpose, and how that really truly brings out, I think, the most creative sides and the best sides of us is when we do lead with love, which is obviously the opposite of war. And what a beautiful thing. I mean, I think if you think about like a bunch of half-naked hippies like blaring out to Jimi Hendrix, as he's wailing on the guitar, and the polarity of that against the bombs dropping and like how deafening both of them are, but in 2 dynamic spaces, it could be really, really powerful. And then the sporting event, and I was being a little bit biased here because I am a wrestler. Muggsy, thank you, by the way. I appreciate you. I thought, an event that really changed history, in my world was WrestleMania 3 at the Pontiac Silverdome. You think about Hogan slamming Andre and the symbolism of that, of, this American pride of like built off of all these good things at that time, slamming this giant. And obviously it's a business and it's entertainment, it's all these things, but however, it really was a storytelling moment of overcoming, right? Of just being authentic and being real and being powerful and taking down this giant who was undefeatable, untouchable. at the time. And so, yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell, I think, maybe. And then if you could change someone's mind like that, you can change the reasons why a lot of these wars, and especially unnecessary wars, were even started in the first place. Because we all have more than enough of everything.
I promise you, if there was like, I'm everyone that says this, everyone that always says I'm not going to be long-winded is long-winded. I know that.
I know. I had to research, honestly, Abby, and I hated you for even asking me this question. So, like, this could be a hot mess.
No, I was going to tell you, like, if you know me well, like, you know, I'm a really direct, honest guy. I'm having a blast. Like, you guys, no, this is fun because I'm learning a lot of different things about perspective, like where you're coming from, or where your opinions come from, and then taking that opinion or that germ of an idea and expanding it further the way you guys are in storytelling as presenters. I love this. I'm having a thrill sitting back there. You were really detailed, and I liked your explanations because they make perfect sense. Like, you brought up Prescott Bush. Yeah, this was a guy who, like, he touted Richard Nixon when Nixon was 19 years old. True story. Like, he treated politicians the way, I guess, sports teams treat potential draft picks. Like, he was touting him as this ultimate. And, you know, later on, he did something called a superficial layer of economic despair that literally leads us to where we are now, because the corrupt banking systems who run the world, who are trying to get people towards this belief of one world economy, that started and originated with Prescott Bush's ideology. Like, that was something he set in motion. And the only way you can profit, and L. Richard Prouty said this, the only way you can profit is by having war. Racketeering in war is the only way that a country could thrive economically. So there has to be one every 5 or 10 years. I mean, even in Grenada in 1983, we had no reason to go to Grenada in 83. The reason we did that was because it's like, wait a minute. We showed the public after that botch job, which, by the way, in a few weeks, I think it's the 50-year anniversary of our deployment from Vietnam, from Saigon. That was 50 years. It was in like in April or May of 75. I can't remember. But after that botch job, the public didn't believe in a one-party system, let alone a two-party system. So what's the best way to get public support? Hey, let's start a war and kick butt. We're America. Like, it's crazy how things turn out. But you guys are putting such a really awesome spin on this, because politicians are people. And I want to ask you guys a question before I go to Muggsy. Muggsy, you can answer this. Johnny, Mickey, do you feel like a president or a commander-in-chief can somehow walk away from that position retaining their humanity? Can they retain their humanity afterwards?
After being president?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I think you take a look at any president the day that they walked into office versus the day they leave the office, and I feel like they've aged maybe 2 decades, at least a decade, from the stress. I mean, I can't imagine, but also I don't think that any president is in total control, any world leader, really, except for maybe in North Korea, is in complete control of any country. There's so many, when we talk about press, I mean, he's not a conventional, like, he wasn't a world leader, you know, very powerful in the decisions that were made in this country and even thereafter, you know.
That's a damn good point. Yeah. Are they puppets? Are they controlled by corporations? Johnny, your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, I think if you can control the media, you can control people's beliefs, and that's what they do in other countries, communist countries. Like, you got to believe and say what they want you to say. And like, our country over the past couple of years, I mean, the he, she, they, them, like, all that stuff's weird to me. Like, another thing, men playing in women's sports. I mean, Title IX was here for a reason, to give these girls an opportunity and a scholarship to go to college and play the game. What happens going forward? But I think we just got really just shell-shocked. We wanted the whole world to see what we were doing. And I mean, we grew up in a great time. We didn't have these phones. We didn't have this crazy internet. And unfortunately, there's just not truth out there all the time. And I feel like this panel and your show, we're able to talk about what we believe in and what I feel is true. I mean, Mickey, that was such a great speech you gave us. I mean, I know a lot about what's gone on, but yeah, that was absolutely amazing. But you control the media, you control the world, and that's what we're trying to not have. We want everyone to be free thinkers and believe what they want, like who you want. It's a crazy world, and I'm raising 8 kids, and
8 kids. God bless.
Yeah, raising 8 kids and trying to teach my young boys to be men, and trying to teach my daughters, my 6 daughters, to be great people, and to So that's what I'm doing, and so far it's been going very well.
I think that's great stuff. Like, and God forbids kids today are going to continue worshiping the God of TikTok, which is what they seem to be doing, because it seems like that's where they get their information. Like, it's cool to pass by TikTok and social media. I'm not cantankerous enough to say, oh, it has no benefit. Hey, we're doing this show right now on social media, so I totally get that. But like, to rely on that as your primary source for information, I left teaching history, and before I started screenwriting for Universal and for Lionsgate, I actually decided to leave history because I brought in a freedom writer named Diane Nash, who's still with us. She marched with Martin Luther King. She's a friend of mine. I brought her in there, and I brought in an entrepreneur that Muggsy might know, who passed away recently, named Junior Bridgman. What a great human being he was. Also did well for himself outside the sport. And when I introduced these two fine men and women and legendary figures to my assistant principal, she kind of snubbed them and walked away and went, hi. This is a day after she told me to change the spelling of Frederick Douglass's name, because on my Do Now board, I put 2 S's, and I'm like, his last name has 2 S's. She was like, no, it doesn't. I go, look it up. Frederick Douglass's last name had 2 S's. And I'm like, this is our AP? This is our assistant principal? Like, you got to be kidding me. It's like something out of a Twilight Zone episode. So I was like, if our educators right now are failing to connect to our kids because they themselves are not educated, that is one scary thought. It really is. It boggles my mind. Muggsy, I'm going to ask you the same question before we go over to this topic. Do you feel like a president can retain their humanity after they've served our country? Muggsy, my friend, can you hear me?
Oh, the question was to me?
Yeah, I kind of want to get your opinion on this. Do you think they could still sort of retain their morals and ethics after serving?
Well, I think, every president who goes in, they go in one way and they believe they can change the world. They can do all what they say they're going to do. But once they actually get in, they realize they got to answer to a lot of folks, and they can't do exactly what they truly want to do. And that gives them a different perspective of what they able to and capable of doing. And once they all leave the office, I'm quite sure in terms of what they're able to do and how they're able to impact so many in terms of their lives, good or bad. I think they kind of take a measurement from that moving forward. So it's really hard for one person to try to, say that they can change the world, because you got so many people that have to answer and have input in those type of decisions. So it's kind of hard for me to say that they can have that. I'm quite sure they can have some type of gratitude based on the things they're able to do, in terms of hopefully they can maybe impact more lives than they did before they went in.
Amen to that, my friend. Guys, it's the same question for Mr. Muggsy Bogues, and then all we have is one topic. Round 1 had 3 topics. This round only has 2 topics. Mr. Muggsy Bogues, I'm going to ask you the same question. You are going to try to prevent a war. You're going to try to grab a world leader and take them to a rock concert of your choice or a sporting event of your choice in the annals of history. So, my friend, which war will you be choosing to prevent and why? Which world leader would you escort with you in this journey through time and why? And which rock concert and sporting event do you take them to and why? Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours, good sir.
And I'm more like Mickey. I'm not a historian.
Sure.
I definitely did not do my homework. Johnny came with his A game. They guys did an amazing job. But the war that I would try to prevent, I guess it will be what Mickey said, World War II. That was the most unhumane war that we have ever witnessed, mainly because of the deaths and the impact that it had on the economy. It was such a time in history where our president at the time was kind of more or less, I guess, dragging his feet, I should say, until that time happened. What made him jump into the war, and maybe because there was so much division going on, and for him, and I mean Roosevelt, I think if he would have I would have taken him. If we could have kind of maybe got to the prime minister, I'll just say I'll think to the prime minister of Japan, at the time, who actually gave that order to drop that bomb on Pearl Harbor, and for them to, to go that route, maybe we could have persuaded him and in a way letting him know the thing, because Roosevelt at the time, I believe he was working with the Europeans at the time in terms of creating, he knew about issues and so forth, and as well as understanding that he was always working with them when he came up with, creating the United Nations, trying to, it was so much division, as I said, it was so much allies that we, the enemies, the axes that we was, alliance in terms of, during that time, it was just so much going on, so much hatred. And the person, in terms of the concert where I would take them, it would mainly be the Michael Jackson, the We Are the World, the dangerous tour, the We Are the World, because of what he stood for and what they all try to bring unity together. And I knew, people was falling out when they see Michael Jackson, no matter what type of race, religion, creed that you came from. That's the impact that he had on individuals, and especially over in Japan, they really, really love Michael Jackson. I think everybody did. So I will definitely take them to that type of concert. And I would take them in as far as a sporting event. It will be an NBA game because of the type of diversity that we have in our game. You have a German who's could be you be your franchise player of that individual, and not only that, you can play against another Frenchman, another German on an opposing team. So you seeing that type of unity come together, where there was so much division going on and so much hatred at the time. So that's the two places I would take. Either the prime minister from Japan, Tojo, I believe that was his name, and then possibly get Roosevelt to an event to where he can actually see how it all unveils and how what all is happening in terms of the individual that come together, in terms of the unity that we can have with one another, in terms of being able to coexist under the same umbrella.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, guys. You guys are very thoughtful. I don't know if it'd be thoughtful to do this, though. Growing up in Queens, Muggsy, I love that you're taking them to an NBA game. Please, please don't take them, as someone who grew up in New York, to an early 90s Knicks games. Please, please. I beg you. No Knicks games.
No. The physicality of it?
No, man. They broke my heart. Every single year, it was their year, and then it wasn't, and it was their year, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Man, but let me tell you something, man. You revolutionized the game. Mickie James revolutionized wrestling. I don't like to put a gender behind it. She revolutionized wrestling. And then after wrestling, we got to see another side of her that always existed, which is her musical talents. Johnny Damon obviously did so much in the world of baseball, but then every single time I talk to someone who knows Johnny Damon, who says this man is such a forward thinker and such a businessman, you guys have so much to offer, and I want the world to know that. We're now 3 million strong. Thank you guys for making this what it is today. Thank you for the studio that believes in this and wants to pick the show up. But I want to bring this up. Muggsy, man, you revolutionized a sport that many people thought was only a big man's game, and you did it so well. I want to talk about, first off, when you were a rookie, this was a game that I watched, and I don't think many people realize, well, it's really a series. You guys, as a Washington Bullet team, were heavy underdogs. You took Detroit to 5 games in that 88 season in which you were a rookie. You took Detroit, who was a powerhouse at that point, made it all the way to the finals. You took them to 5 games. And then later on, of course, not being in that area that you grew up, that kind of stunk, but then being part of that Charlotte Hornet franchise and seeing what you did, you were so instrumental, where there were suits and ties and dignitaries watching games early on in the Charlotte Coliseum, early on in the Charlotte Hornets franchise. They weren't after the victories. They didn't care about the wins. They wanted to see their community thrive. You were a big ambassador and still are. You're the one who's able to go out, speak to the kids, the dignitaries, all people alike, and break barriers So thank you for being able to be such a very good ambassador of the sport, and specifically of Charlotte as well, Muggsy.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I try to continue to, to do my part. Being here in Charlotte is something a special place, and in what you just alluded to, the places that we've been, Washington, having that, experience with the Bullets at my freshman year, my rookie year, going out those games, playing with them as a rookie. That's what make you who you are. And being here in Charlotte, being able to be part of this franchise and understand how, as you mentioned, we talked about earlier, when you walk down the street, how people appreciate the things that you do. You're just thankful for that. So we're able to, continue to shine and be the bright, the beacon of the light for those who don't believe that they can overcome, what the naysayers say about them. People always tell you who you could or should be. But every individual know who they want to be. Mostly, I would think. So that's the type of confidence and message I always try to spread.
Yeah, and it's widespread, as you mentioned, and I'm glad we're all taking our time to stop. The clock will keep clocking, time will keep timing, but I'm glad we're pausing the clock in time right now, because we're living in an accelerated world, even with social media. Oh, we want short form. Oh, we want a quick fix. I don't want any of that. I want to get to know the person. I want to have a living room conversation and get to know you guys through this medium, because when we break bread, and we will, it's going to be amazing to think that we actually took the right side of social media and we're able to shine a light on that, because we're getting to know each other through a device, a laptop, a phone, whatever you guys are using, a microphone. Like, we're getting to know each other through this very cold mechanical device. And I think it's beautiful. I really do. I think it's awesome that we're doing it this way. I wish people could focus on, again, taking their time. And guys, I'm going to take my time right now, before I get into topic number 2, to delve into some of the great works that Johnny and Mickey and Muggsy are a part of. Starting with Johnny, there's a website, drinkagame.com, and there's a lot of great people attached to this. Johnny, can you please talk about that?
Yeah, so back in 2012, it was a very hot summer, as it always is down south here, and a couple of football players died. We feel like it could have been the coaches telling them to keep on running. You got to be tough going into the season, but we also wanted to make sure that they were hydrated properly. There's some stuff out there that, thank God, these companies are getting rid of the red dye 40s and the dyes that are in this drink that actually just crushes your body. So we have no artificial flavors, no artificial coloring, no forever chemicals. There's a lot of drinks out there that have it. Everything in our product, the ingredients, they work for your body. We have honey as a sugar substitute, natural honey, and sea salt. We're working with Gary Brecka, and we're going to continue to make we have a great drink now. We want to make better. We want to go healthier, and we're as healthy as you can be right now in the hydration beverage. We also had Bo Jackson for a couple of years. We have Tyler Adams, and World Cup is coming next year, and I'm super excited. And that's we are going to see a lot of world leaders come together for the World Cup. They're going to come to the States, North America, South America, Mexico, and they're going to have a great time. And Tyler Adams is going to be a big representative for A-Game, and he always brings it. He's bringing it for Bournemouth right now. And Caleb Downs won the national championship with Ohio State. So we're very happy with the guys we have right now, and hopefully we can continue to have champions join the team.
Doing it the right way. Yeah, that's such a cool cause. It's something I never think about until I think about it, because you just brought it up. Being able to take care of athletes in that fashion, I think, is very important. Mickey, you're never going to bring this up because you just don't. But I mean, your singing career, you're always recording great music. You're doing so much. You're also on a very interesting show right now that is really shining a light on some of the young hopefuls that are learning the ins and outs of pro wrestling. Thankfully, through the tutelage of yourself and others like Booker T and Bully Ray and The Undertaker. Can you please talk about that, Mickey?
Oh, thanks. And thanks for putting over my music. I appreciate you. I feel like that's my artistic side, that it's out there. And obviously I put albums out and I'm still working and writing and all those things. But still, even a lot of people don't know that I do music. So
It's incredible. Yeah.
I mean, everybody, it's like one of those things. It's what your taste is, right? But
Sure.
I have so much fun and I love doing it. It's definitely a different outlet for me. But yeah, we actually just wrapped the LFG first season, and it's been picked up for I think 3 years. So they're going to do about six seasons of it, but they're filming season 2 now. It was so much fun, and I think when I was first asked to do it, Hunter, I guess, threw my name in the hat for it. I was a little bit, because it's a very they're all Hall of Famers, like Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, depending on which company, I guess, and
Right.
Booker T, and then obviously Undertaker, a household name, have done so much in the industry and had many of WrestleMania moments and all of these things. And they're all Hall of Famers, and I'm not yet. I'll say not yet.
Oh, you will be.
One day, we won't rush it. But, to have this opportunity to like do this competition against them, but also to mentor all of these athletes that have come in, and they've all come in from different areas, like college athletes, some football players, some basketball, gymnasts, swimmers. I think the one girl from Ukraine, Zena, she's a swimmer. But to see how quickly they've picked up wrestling, and just to have the opportunity, I didn't know how I was going to do it, because I feel like sometimes, especially when you're so, I don't know about you guys, but when you're so passionate about it, and I wasn't for sure how I was going to feel about it, because these weren't people who were in love with wrestling and wanted to be wrestlers and went through it like that grassroots, rugged, gritty way. They were found through these combine kind of things of these like really amazing professional athletes who excelled in their sport, but then were like, hey, yeah, I'll give wrestling a try. And I was like, oh, they don't love it like I love it, so I don't know how they're going to do. And it was just such an eye-opening experience for me too. I don't have a wrestling school. I've done a few camps and stuff like that, and I've always found it very rewarding. But for that, it just really made me look at everything and from a very different perspective, and how open and willing they were to learn. And
well, you're a teacher,
because they've been coached their whole lives. It was wild. It was fun. And plus, I got to hang out with the guys, and I think get to know Bully and Booker and even Taker on a different level.
Oh, right. Yeah. From that standpoint.
Yeah.
And you are a teacher. Like, you don't need some plaque on the wall. Like the best education I ever received was from my students. They were the best teachers I ever had, because we are supposed to learn from each other, and without discriminating against someone's age or where they came from. Like, we shouldn't have any age bias, or obviously gender bias, or any sort of bias at all. And it's great to be able to have you teach them something that they aren't really privy to. Like, you never know who watched you. You never know who watched you coming up. Like, and all of a sudden, like, I loved hearing Muggsy talk about Mickie in some of her matches specifically, because we just don't know who we inspire sometimes, and we inspire one another. Muggsy does that a lot in the Charlotte community. I know he's not going to bring it up. Muggsy's just like Johnny and Mickie. He's humble, but he does so much for that organization. And also, there's a great book. He's not going to talk about it. I will. I've read that book. I showcased it last time, the hard copy of it. Muggsy, man, please let everyone know, man, you're still so very much involved.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely involved. That's my DNA. That's what God has given me the gift to do, to continue to uplift. But I just want to say with Damon, with Johnny, I really appreciate your hydration drink that you have, because we are all in that space as well. We have a plant-based hydration product that we're out there trying to continue to uplift this our community, to make sure that they have healthy stuff that's going in their body. But I continue to try to here in Charlotte, continue trying to do my part. We have our foundation, the Mugsy Bogues Family Foundation, provide scholarships for kids who have ambition to go to trade schools, as well as we have a program where we feed the community. We're working on putting our pantry on the west side of Charlotte, in the underserved community. These kids, all don't have the ability to go to a 4-year university, so we create an avenue where they can go to a trade school, better their life, and hopefully not only change their trajectory as well as their family. So we're just trying to do our part.
That's so cool. And guys, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that really gets to me. I get goosebumps when I hear about what you guys are doing, and again, paying it forward and giving the voiceless a voice. Guys and gals, in order to have a voice, you got to soothe this. Mickey's a singer. She knows you got to be able to soothe your voice. Maybe some hot tea, maybe some tea with honey inserted in it, but also perhaps some Progresso soup. Guys and gals, this is chicken noodle soup. This is Progresso soup. And guys, as you can see right now, our sponsor, we're very proud that they are very loud about all of us and what we're doing. But guess what? They're also very generous. We appreciate their support, economically speaking. We appreciate their product. And even though I haven't opened up this 4-pack just yet, I might just split this 4-pack with Johnny and Muggsy and Mickey. We might have some soup together when we see each other. The question is, if I'm not having soup and there's a 4-pack over here, who gets the 4th one if it's just you three? Who gets that last can of soup? Is it Johnny? Is it Mickey? Is it Muggsy? Or is someone going to fight over that last can? Johnny, you're muted, my friend. I want to hear what you got to say. You're muted. I want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, I love chicken noodle soup. I'll take it. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
Grab that last one.
for having the show. That's fantastic. And a lot of things we do, we need companies to step up, and Progresso's doing it and helping get our voices out and getting the show out. So it's a fantastic thing that they're doing. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I know they're going to love that. And hopefully, guys, maybe Progresso is going to work with the Johnny Damon, Mugsy Bogues, and Mickie James down the road as well. You'll be seeing more of them. They are one hell of a company. There's no doubt about that. And guys and gals and pals, if it does come down to that 4th soup, listen, Johnny, Muggsy, and Mickie James sign a lot of autographs. I don't. I'll grab that last can when they're not watching. Guys and gals and pals, that's our first topic. We're finished with first topic. Before we move on to our final topic, I want to bring this up in memoriam. It's about 60 seconds for those who are a part of this tournament, who are no longer here, who have sadly passed on. We're always going to remember them. So we're going to stay on screen. This is for them. Trio of options for Gallagher, more underrated than why. Sauerkraut, Henry Kissinger's deep soothing voice, or dogs wearing sweaters.
I like dogs wearing sweaters.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I haven't done an interview in 20 years.
Mr. Sizemore, first name Tom. How are you, my friend? I could turn the volume lower if you'd like next time. If you'd like me to do that, Tom, I could do that.
Wow, that was something else. I don't know what I can do now.
Oh, please.
That was terrific, man.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And what, as charming as a guy that you are, man, and as honest as a guy as you are, and as down-to-earth as a guy as you are, you played a character that isn't so down-to-earth named Scrooge in college. You played Scrooge. And of course, I feel like a thespian should rely on their instinct. Do you feel like you rely on your instinct a lot as a storyteller as well?
I mean, playing Scrooge at that young an age was, when I think about it now, I only way I could have done it is I was relying on my instincts. You know, I could have done it the other way. Okay.
More underrated than why? Unicycles, Italian men named Skippy, or sophisticated dinosaurs?
What? More sophisticated dinosaurs?
Yeah,
I want to say the sentence, Italian men named Skippy. I just want to say
Yeah, Italian men named Skippy.
I just want to say the sentence, Italian men named Skippy.
Yeah, something you'll never hear, yeah. Did you have fun? Did you have a nice time?
I had a great time. It was ball.
Yeah, man.
I want to do it again. This is great. I just think it's going to be, a lot of fun for people. I don't think people like this on the air. I don't think really. No, there isn't. I just think it's going to be I'm very interested in how people respond to it. Because I know it's going to be interesting and see if people tune in and stay tuned in, and I really hope they do. And I'm all yours, bro. Let's go out and make this work. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.
I teach a workshop, and one of my students finally said about my class about iambic pentameter. He finally said, I got it. And he was excited. And it was both his elation and those 3 words that make it worthwhile, right?
Amen. You got it. But I think I've got to have equally passionate people involved in the production of it. That passion will override any reservations anybody has as to the show's potential for entertainment or education.
Did you feel as if transitioning to the stage and performing live theater was a natural fit for you?
Yes, I did. I always felt very comfortable on stage, more so on stage than I did in film or television. So I'm looking forward to you, Avi,
giving me your thoughts and your input. Because as I told you, that piece that you sent me is, I love good writing, and I think
Thank
that's
you,
been
sir.
the secret of my career. And this is a beautiful piece of writing, as I said. I'm referring to the piece that you wrote me. You're onto something because you're a writer. You're a creative force, and I want to hook up.
Thank you so much for those kind words, guys. Thank you for being you, my friend. I appreciate you and respect you wholeheartedly.
And that goes double for me to you, Avi.
Special people, yeah. I know it sounds sappy, maybe not, but they're still here with us. And I know that you guys have relatives that are no longer here, and I'm glad that they get a chance to meet my pop. I know he's going to shake their hands and at some point tell them to perhaps convince you in a dream to have me shave this beard. I know that. But John Amos, did you guys ever get a chance to meet John Amos anywhere?
I did not. No, incredible.
John Amos, you guys would have loved John Amos. He was such an inspirational person. A guy that could like give you every time when you broke bread, he wanted to pay for the bill. And then afterwards he would spend 30 seconds giving you a hidden gem and literally transition to another 30 seconds and give you a hidden gem within the conversation. It's not like he was trying to sound like Yoda. He was just so wise. Like, you ever around those people that no matter what they say, you absorb it. That's who John Amos was. Such a wise person.
And Avi, like being a young kid, when he did not come back to the show, was a Good Times, right?
Good Times, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he passed in real life, and why he didn't come back. And then when I saw him years ago, like years after, I was like, oh, wait, that's just TV. So
right.
When I was watching the show, I was just like, man, he was so great at it. And
amazing. Yeah, I remember when the character passed away. Yeah, it hit me too when I was a kid. It's like, that's when TV started tackling topics that were so very serious. And yeah, John was a hell of a guy. You guys would have loved him, and Tom, and of course Gallagher. And hey, listen, guys, I'm going to say this to you again. Thank you for being here. We're going to finish up our second topic, but I know that speaking of having a good time, like John did with a show called A Good Time or Good Times, we're going to have a good time right now. Before we get into topic number 2, a very, very quick game that yours truly conceived that's very wacky. It's supposed to be. I'll give you all a trio of options, and you're going to select which of those options you would pay to see and why. Let us know why as well. A trio of options. Which would you pay to see and why? I'm going to start with Johnny Damon first. It's the same one for Mickey and for Muggsy as well. Johnny, if you had a chance to pay for the following to see and why, which would it be? Rocky Balboa as a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld as a correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host?
It would be Seinfeld as a correctional officer. I'm sure he's. I'm sure he knows how to play it. He's did a really good job in the show. So yeah, he's tremendous.
Seinfeld as a correctional officer. He might get himself in trouble though, Johnny. He might in that setting. You know, I could see him like referring to the bar. What do they call them bars? You know, they don't rhyme or anything. Huh? And something will happen to Seinfeld if he opens his mouth in that setting. I'm going to go to Mickie James with the same options, and let's see where you go, my friend. Which would you pay for the following to see and why? Rocky Balboa is a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld the correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host?
Rocky Balboa, the greatest story ever told.
Yes.
Definitely as a neurosurgeon, just because. And what a great, addition to the saga that is Rocky Balboa.
I like that. And you know what? He might do well, but this is one time where we don't want, again, no pun intended, we want this Mickie James, to be there. We don't want Mickey the trainer being in that room when he's trying to cut somebody up.
No, I just really don't want to be on the table at all.
No.
Not even near it.
Going, yeah, you gotta work that scaffold. Like, hey, I'm trying to do my job, Mickey. But we don't want Mickey from Rocky in that movie. We don't want him there.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I love Mickey. He inspires us, but sometimes he can be a little much. Muggsy, my question is for you as well. Which would you pay for to see and why of the following, my friend? Rocky Balboa is a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld the correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host?
Rambo the talk show host. Because that will be hilarious.
I like it. 3 options and 3 different ways you guys went. Rambo is a talk show host. So if somebody if somebody's being disrespectful in the audience or even someone on stage, he doesn't have to say anything. He's got the knife. That's all he's got to, one of these.
Yeah, but I know that interview going to take at least about an hour and a half just to get a couple questions out. You know, right? He's gonna be, you know. Hey.
Oh man, I like that. Yeah, and they listen.
Rambo, I love
Rambo. The talk show. I'd pay to see that too, man. Absolutely, guys. A couple more of these, and then we're gonna go to topic number 2, and then we're out of here. Mr. Johnny Damon, which of the following would you pay for to see and why? Hannibal Lecter as a cast member of 90210, Big Bird the Bounty Hunter, or Conan the Librarian?
Conan the Librarian. I think he played a similar part in Kindergarten Cop. So yeah,
I was picking that.
Man, yeah, I told you the grapes of the wrath was due 5 days ago. You don't want to run into that. Mickie James, it's the same option for you, my good friend.
I'm going with Big Bird.
Big Bird the Bounty Hunter.
Big Bird the Bounty Hunter. I think that's great television.
And plus, between us, he kind of ran the streets of Sesame.
He did.
Yeah.
Nobody messed with Big Bird.
Nobody would. There's no doubt about that. Muggsy, my friend, we got Big Bird the Bounty Hunter. We got, of course, Johnny's pick. Which would be, let me go through these again over here if I can. Conan the Librarian or Hannibal Lecter as a cast member of 90210.
Well, let's go with it. Let's keep it all 3 different ones. Let's go with Hannibal Collector with 3.3. What is it?
Yeah, 90210. Yeah,
90210. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Can you imagine them on 90210?
I can. That's some of those cats. Jason Priestley's character. You know, hey, what are we eating for dinner? You. We're eating you for dinner. I like that. And can you imagine, the opening credits where like they're all doing that dramatic soap opera turn with the music playing? Can you imagine Lecter doing one of those? One of those? I love this, guys. I'd pay for the following. This is great. See, when people talk about, hey, what's so fun about being a writer? When I write this stuff at 1 a.m., believe me, this is the great stuff that we need to talk about because, again, guys and gals, you can play along as well. Give us some options if you want to. Our final one over here, Johnny Damon, which would you pay for to see and why of the following? Darth Vader, the wedding planner, Godzilla, the massage therapist, or Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer?
it's got to be Godzilla, the massage therapist. Yeah, I'm sure he can get in there pretty good. Little scratchy nails and get that spot right here.
Walk on your back. Yeah, he could totally take care of that. There's no doubt about that. You may not live after that, but hey, listen, you would have had a great massage. It's a good way to go. There's no doubt about that. Mickie James, it's the same 3 options for you, my friend. We have Godzilla, the massage therapist. We have Darth Vader, the wedding planner, or Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer.
Oh God. I'm going with Godzilla too.
Godzilla, yeah.
Yeah, because I love a good massage. And I always forget to put myself in. I never take the time.
I would concur. That's a good pick. I'm glad, hey, like Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer, could be tough. If you watch the Risk Girl,
that's what
right,
I was
Mugsy? The Risk Girl.
I don't want anything to do with Freddy Krueger. Real story. It was the first horror film that I ever watched, and it scared me so bad.
Yeah.
I was far too young. I was trying to be cool, hang out with the cool kids. And
what, you watched in theaters, Mickey, or was it like on
the
video?
First one.
Or?
I think the first one. No, we were watching at my grandma's house. We were all watching in the basement. It was like, and still to this day, I'm not good with watching scary films. I don't even like them. More of a Disney girl myself, or a action thriller. Something very simple that you can watch with everyone.
Yeah,
I just don't want
that first one was like, because that's before the Robert Englund, the actor who portrayed Freddy, before he was portrayed as this like stand-up comic in the later ones where he had these one-liners, like he was Rodney Dangerfield. In the first 2, he didn't say much; he just killed everybody. And he was pretty darn scary. Mugsy, are you going with Freddy Krueger?
I'm going with Freddy. He's gonna scare me to get in shape.
You get cut up for sure.
Guys and gals and pals, topic number 2 is upon us. Got to sneak this last one in there. Johnny Damon, who would you pay for to see and why of the following? Alf, attorney at law, Papa Smurf, the hip-hop artist, or Mr. Bean, the motivational speaker?
Papa Smurf. I mean, that was my favorite cartoon as a kid, so I think he'd do a great job. I mean, he had to coordinate all the Smurfs throughout his time, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and he's got the name Papa. So for a hip-hop artist, he's got a head start. I like that. That's really cool. Mickie James, you know a lot about music, a ton as well. Do you go with Papa Smurf, the hip-hop artist, or Alf, attorney at law, or Mr. Bean, the motivational?
I mean, that one did pop me. I love the Smurfs, too. I mean, even though it was a little bit weird that there was one Papa and all these Smurfs.
That is true.
Totally fine. What were the other options? It was the other one that got me.
We got Mr. Bean, the motivational speaker,
Bean.
or we got
I'm going
Alf,
with
attorney at
Mr. Bean,
law.
the motivational speaker.
Absolutely doesn't have to say anything, right?
Well, no,
Doesn't say a
I mean,
word.
you can just kind of grunt and make noises, and then, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Muggsy, my friend, do you concur? Do you switch it up? We got Alf, attorney at law. We got Mr. Bean, the motivational speaker, or we got Papa Smurf, the hip hop artist.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Papa Smurf. Yeah, I'm a Smurf guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, and I love hip hop.
Guys and gals and pals, we're not going to do these following, maybe next time for round 3, but honorable mentions, Beetlejuice, the runway model, a cast of Goodfellas as audience members on Jerry Springer, Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th as a professional ice skater, Archie Bunker, the mountain climber, Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor, or Don Corleone, the computer repair person. We'll do those some other time, but right now it's time for our final topic. We'll rotate things out this time. I'm going to start off topic number 3, our final topic, with Mickie James this time, guys and gals and pals who are watching and listening. Thank you again. 3 million strong. We appreciate you. This is a thought-provoking question. Mickie, what's the biggest what if from your life, personal, professional, otherwise, that you would like to explore and why? What's the biggest what if from your life that you would like to explore and why? My friend, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a very thought-invoking question, I think, because we all, as you live life, go through these like monumental life shifting, I almost think, or like where your life could go 2 different ways. And I feel like I've had several of those maybe, or at least in my own mind, but I certainly think that it would be the day that I chose to, and it's like one of those breaking boundaries or just breaking your mental beliefs of like what you think is capable for you. Because I think that even as a child, I was always a big dreamer, and I would, say, and I wanted to do this and want to do that. And these things were like, certainly felt so much out of the realm of possibilities for myself. And it certainly wasn't like-minded of how anyone thought around me, but I think when I was like right out of high school, it must have been that like right out of high school era of like, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do and be? I think to go the day I chose to go after wrestling as a career, as something that was not just like, oh, I'm going to be a weekend warrior and I'm going to go do these shows at like a National Guard armory and actually try to get a job with a company where it could be a career and be my real job. And to like cut all those ties, I had to move away from home the first time and find that good school when I transferred to Maryland and travel, like be willing to travel 3 to 4 hours twice a week to go train and, all of these things, and took it seriously where I had to go financially on the struggles you make of trying to make it as any type of artist, I believe, of those of sleeping in my car or not being able to afford groceries or pay rent or do any of these things because I was chasing a dream and having to keep like a job that, waitress job where it really was not, I was not making that much money, and I had to shift my perspective of taking that risk on myself and betting on myself. I often think of like, what if I had, and I loved riding horses and I still love riding horses, or what if I had settled for like what everyone did in Montpelier, Virginia, of like just being, going to work at the, Roses or at Cracker Barrel, or I think I worked at one point, or wherever, Olive Garden, and, just be happy, just living life and doing all those things when I had such big aspirations and I really wanted to change both like, the generational of what my family had always been and that struggle of like small town, trying to just make ends meet. And I'm like, I don't want to just make ends meet. I want to make it so none of us have to worry about making ends meet. And then so that moment, I think, and it was a very defining because I was struggling really, really hard. And I think that also transcended when you talk to God or whatever your belief is there, but of like that true purpose of like, really what are we doing? Like it was very ego then. And now I go like, it's gotten deeper as I've gotten older and I'm a mom and all these other things of like, okay, I've been able to do all of these things that I've asked and I prayed and I worked so hard for, but now how can I turn that into something special where I can help other people do the same thing? And that's kind of, So
That's beautiful. For anyone that wants to be again motivated by something that's taking place in their life now, be it in high school or in junior high. I mean, Mickey, you worked summers as a lifeguard at King's Dominion. You waitressed at the Cracker Barrel in
lifeguarding
Ashland.
was fun, I will say. I mean, it wasn't that hard. I just kind of had to scoop people up out of the slide.
Right. No, but you're being humble because you worked a lot.
Yeah.
You graduate from Patrick Henry High School in 97, very close to getting the honors diploma, but you were working, again, the keyword is working so hard. And I think, you were in Shakau, was that the bar that you were taking martial arts classes for self-defense when that friend who you knew told you about KYDA?
It was a bar that I was working out. It was downtown Richmond. Yeah. It was not, that wasn't the name. It didn't have anything to do with martial arts. I did Aikido when I was in high school. Which I loved it because it uses their energy against the kind of, and I definitely used some of that in my wrestling. I realized how they kind of translate it together. But yeah, it was a friend of mine who was working at the bar, and then I didn't make any money at the bar when wrestling was on because I was a wrestling fan and I was watching wrestling, and he's like glued to the television. He's the one who suggested it to me. I had no idea there was a such thing as wrestling because I was such a fan. I just thought that they found these people like they found people in the circus because they were so much larger than life to me.
Sure.
The only thing bigger to me was Whitney Houston or like Shania Twain or whoever else I was massively a fan of in the music world because I, loved that. And then so it was just mind-boggling to me that there was actually a wrestling school and that you have to go to school to train to do something like this.
I love that.
And I signed up. That it was in the back of you talked about it, but it was in the back of a martial arts facility. It was a boxing ring. So wrestling rings have a little bit of give. Boxing rings do not, but that's where I learned how to run the ropes the first time, take my falls the first time, knock the wind out of me. I went home with bruises head to toe.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like how you're able to take something
crazy. So
you take something you're passionate.
Yeah.
You make it your own, even with music, like violinist Lindy Sterling. You have her albums. You like listening to her. You got country Southern rock, right? She's amazing. And then you have this ability to write from your personal experiences or the people around you. And then you translate that into a story that lyrically speaking, whether a person's a fan of the genre or not, they're going to get invested through the lyrics alone. Not to mention how great the music is. So I do want people, I encourage them to really be able to listen to Mickey's music because it's awesome. I listened to it the other day because I knew we were doing this segment, of course, and it reminded me of during round number 1 is that you are a hell of a musician, and I want to be able to just once again, maybe down the road outside of the tournament, talk more about that because you really do inspire people through your music, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
100%. Guys and gals and pals, I'm going to ask Mugsy Bogues, Mr. Bogues, the same question I asked Mickey. What's the biggest what if from your life, personal, professional, or otherwise, that you would like to explore and why, my friend? The floor is yours, good sir.
The what ifs. Well, I'm quite sure people probably think I'm going to go the other route in terms of I wish I was tall.
I wish I was tall. I wish I was. You're
But I must say, it stems from what if I didn't come from my parents that I came from, because my mom was thinking about not having that last child. She had 2 miscarriages, and then all of a sudden she decided to go and try one more. And so what if she decided not to go ahead and forego that last child? And then I said, what if I didn't have to endure all the things I had to go through as living in the environment that I had to go through? And what if the things that I had to not have to go through in terms of, because if I was tall, people would have said, everything would have been yes, yes, yes. Don't tell me no. What if the things that I decided to choose in terms of pursuing the dream that I wanted for myself, what if I would have gave those folks that type of power over me, that I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys today? So those what ifs is really something that I've really battled, through my journey. And I think everything that happened to me in terms of me getting shot at the early age of 5 years old, You know, folks not believing that a kid my size can even play a sport that was considered for bigger and taller players. I always say, what if I would have gave in and allowed them to dictate what my life would have been or could have been or should have been in terms of listening to them and trusting in them, thinking that they had the answer to who I am and what I wanted out of my life. So I always kind of play back that other side of the what if, as opposed to what if I was taller, because what if I was taller, maybe I wouldn't have been as quicker. I wouldn't have the same mindset. I wouldn't have all that type of, adversity that I had to go through in order to be the person that I am today. So I always go back to that what if I wasn't able to go through all the things that I had to go through in order to become the person that I am today.
I appreciate that, man. That's so humane. And, when you brought that up, it made me think of how the what now trumps the what if.
Mm-hmm.
What now is always going to be stronger and more powerful than the what if. And guys, Muggsy, again, bringing this up, I think I brought up last time we were on with Sidney Moncrief and Paul McKeskey. You're outside, and then there was a store called Old Manchester, and some kids took a rock and they threw it at the owner's window, and they shattered his window. He comes out mad. He grabs his double-barreled shotgun, and all the kids in the neighborhood who were around started running, and then when he grabs his shotgun and starts shooting, unfortunately, you got hit with the buckshots. You didn't do anything. You got hit with the buckshots, and then you had to recover for those buckshots. It gave you a sense of what to go through and going through adversity at such a young age. But then even witnessing your mom, she went back to night school. She took care of 4 kids, and not knowing what all that entails when you're younger, when you grow up, it stays in the back of your mind, and you say, one day I want to be in a position where I can help. And in this case, reward your mom. And you did. You did that. You were able to do that through the gift that a higher power gave you. And you got the most out of your potential. And instead of staying bitter about the shortcomings, you're there talking about your strengths, which are many and they're plentiful. But the fact that even your brother Chucky, very talented, he had it tough. You're one of 4 kids your mom had to support. And to know that you were around all of that, it's so easy to kind of just resign yourself to saying, this is the norm. This is life. I'm going to stay here. I'm destined to stay here. But you didn't. You did that not just because, you were an all-star player, and you didn't just do it because you had a chip on your shoulder because people said you were too small to make it. But even if you were 6'7", in those surroundings, the odds were against you, and you beat those odds, Muggsy.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, they were against me. But again, this is always the mindset allow you to navigate your way through it. And that's what I was able to do, to have that strong mindset, that where that resiliency and, the belief and the preparation that I always put in will always outwork the limitations that I felt that I had. So I never had no doubt. And that man upstairs, as you said, gave me that gift. And I'm thankful that I was able to recognize that gift that he gave me.
Oh, well, we're all the better because of that. We're all the better because of you, my friend. There's no doubt about that. Anyone who encounters you leaves a better person. Mr. Johnny Damon, my good friend, I will say the same thing about you and Mickey. And right now, the final topic is all yours. What's the biggest what if from your life, personal, professional, otherwise, that you would like to explore, and why? The floor is yours, good sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Well, I think all of us would like to say, what if we knew how to buy Bitcoin 10 years ago, right? Let's say, what if I went to college? What if there was an opportunity for me to go make money in college like they have the NILs right now? We did not come from much. College, my parents could not afford it. But when I got drafted coming out as a senior in 1992, the Kansas City Royals offered me $250,000. Well, I knew exactly where that money was going to go. It was half was going to taxes, and a lot were going to my parents. So because they did everything for me. So we are in a different world right now. All these college athletes right now are free agents every year. You don't even get that when you are a professional. Sometimes you do have that 1-year contract. Some guys have the 10-year contracts, but these college players, if things don't work out, if You don't like the coach, you can go into the portal and say, I'm going to try somewhere else. So a lot of these kids have a tough decision. I know Cooper Flagg wanted to win a national championship, and but staying at Duke's not going to hurt him anymore. Like before, it was the guys, let's turn pro, let's do this. But what if I went to college? Maybe I would have had a great time. Maybe I would not have taken baseball serious, or maybe I get hurt and then I don't have that opportunity to help erase the curse of 86 years or help the Yankees win another championship. So there's a lot of things you can look back on and say, woulda, shoulda, coulda. I kind of lived my life as taking what has been given to me. And baseball is a failure sport. We fail 7 out of 10 times, even more. And we always had to pick ourselves up. And I think that's a problem with the kids nowadays. They don't know how to pick themselves up. They don't want to fail. They want to succeed at everything. And if they do fail, they're on to something else. So my big what if, I mean, obviously athletes wanted to be musicians. Musicians are the most talented people in the world, like Mickey. I know you can talk to an audience, you can create videos, you can play music, you can sing. Musicians tend to know how to work and operate in every dynamic. And I mean, everyone wants to be a musician, and congratulations on your career and like wrestling as well. I used to have a wrestling ring at my house, but we didn't have enough kids to wrestle yet. So we gave it to the Edgewood Boys Ranch, and they got to use it.
Awesome.
But yeah, like Del Torberg's a great friend of mine from TNA. I did a skit with him, but yeah, your two, careers were tremendous, and Muggsy, it's been tremendous. And I know there's what ifs in life, but I feel like you have to keep going with, what the Lord gave you, and keep going with your family, and keep on enjoying every single thing you can in life. And I'm going to put a plug in. Keep on bringing your A game.
I love that. I absolutely love that, man. Guys, it's been an absolute joy. Take these suckers off. Look, you guys, eye to eye. It's about as close as we can get here as far as not meeting yet. But you guys taught me a lot, and it's been so much fun to be able to really get to know you guys through the topics. I'm glad that, my objective has been met, which is to show all those suits and ties out there that you guys are way more than just celebrities with an amazing resume. You have much more to offer, and you can talk about things that matter, and you do talk about things that matter. All we need to do is plug in that microphone and give you an opportunity to do that, because you don't have to. Some athletes and some entertainers from all walks of life, they don't owe anybody anything. We don't fault them for not having a voice, but those that have a voice and use that platform to get their message out, we applaud them, because sometimes you're in a no-win situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I feel like society can't have it both ways. They get mad at the athlete for counting all their money and running to the bank, but then when they have an opinion about something, they get mad at that as well and say, oh, just dribble a ball. Well, which one is it? You can't have it both. Like, our world became a better place because in the 60s, there was a Jim Brown and a Bill Russell, and a Lou Alcindor became, of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Muhammad Ali. There were all these people that used their celebrity status to tell people and tell their audience that weren't privy to the goings-on, there's stuff going on. And you guys are doing that. So I really celebrate all of that you do. I hope to one day do an event where we're all together breaking some bread. I will share some of these. I promise you I won't be stingy with Progresso soup. There we go. Guys, again, if you can, and by the way, Johnny, I got to bring this up to you as well, because, again, he won't, but off the field, he established the Johnny Damon Foundation, which was nonprofit. It supported groups like the Arnold Palmer Hospital, Pace Center for Girls, Edgewood Children's Ranch, Stars of West Orange, Habitat for Humanity, Orlando Magic Youth Fund, Make-A-Wish Foundation, North Florida, West Orange Boys and Girls Club. You did a lot, and so did Muggsy, and so did Mickey, guys, and that's what we want you to do. Tell their story, but tell their story as the people that they are before you tell the story of the athlete that inspired you initially. That's awesome stuff. Johnny, Mickey, Muggsy, I'm going to bid you all adieu individually one at a time, so don't go anywhere. But before I do that, anything you'd like to tell one another, each other?
I had a great time.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to say what an honor and a privilege it is to share this space with you guys. I wish it was in person. But I was just blown away by this whole conversation. And I think you're all amazing. And if I lose this contest, I can't think of better people to lose to. So, yeah, no, this has been so much fun. And Abby, thank you for hosting this. This has been a really cool experience so far. And just kind of getting to meet so many different people. And it's ironic, I think, to find that there's so much similarities in all of us, you know, and the hardships are all those like defining things, that's what's made us and given us the grit in our teeth to, you know, achieve great things. So, I wish you nothing but the greatest of even better things. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes, Avi. I'm just gonna video what Jamie just said. We definitely just an awe just to be here with you and with Johnny and Mickey. I'm just so honored to be here. Hopefully I get to meet you, Mickey, in person. I already met Johnny. And like I said, I really enjoyed that match when I was watching back in 2017.
Thank you.
I thought that I would have an opportunity to even speak to you and meet you at on a platform like this. So I'm just thankful to be in y'all presence. And again, Avi, keep doing what you do, buddy.
Appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a great time. And Muggsy, I know what a great time could be. We all can meet you at your golf tournament. Mickey could sing and wrestle.
There you go.
Get a golf ball, but I don't
I
know.
will play golf, not well, but I'll play.
Oh, I would love to have
or I'll
you.
drive the car or whatever.
Absolutely.
Hey, I think that's a great idea, and I think the further rounds of this tournament are going to be in person. That's kind of what it's looking like. So I'm glad we'll be able to do this one-on-one in a physical space. Johnny and Mickey, don't go anywhere. I'm going to bid Muggsy to do one-on-one for about 30 seconds, and then you both as well immediately following. Thank you guys again. Guys, Johnny, Damon, and Mickey, we're going to say goodbye to them one-on-one in about a minute. Muggsy, before I bid you adieu, thank you for what you do. I meant what I said. I always mean what I say and say what I mean. And you do a lot in the time that you have. I know how busy you are. I know how prepared you are. And I know how much you give back because you do want to see the advancement of people. You care about people, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for having me and allow me to showcase my heart to so many of your viewers. And that's you're exactly right. You know, I'm all about giving, all about uplifting. And I'm thankful for those who uplifted me, you know, because the support system is all we need. You know, when you have that type of people that truly pushing you, believing in you, helping you in your cause, then it makes it that much easier to get up out that bed to do it for those others. So thank you, my friend, for allowing me to be on this show and to meet some of the wonderful people that I was able to, you know, have a conversation with.
Absolutely, my friend. I hope to see you very soon. And thank you again for being you.
Thank you, partner. Have a good one.
You too. Mugsy Bogues is one hell of a human being, right? Mickie James. I mean, I like that in these couple hours, we really got to know the person in terms of what they stand for, the morality, their heart and soul on display, yours as well. Is it okay if I kind of pass everyone each other's numbers? You know, Muggsy and yourself.
That. Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I made best friends this episode.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for having me on.
You're fantastic. You had a nice time, my friend.
Always. Yeah,
you give so much of yourself.
Out when you first sent me that first post. Oh my gosh,
I saw the text.
I don't even know how to answer this.
Okay, so don't get mad at me. But when I got the text, I was smiling because I'm like, she's gonna nail this. Like she's gonna nail it because you're gonna dig into the humane part of the topic and bring the humanity out of it. And sure enough, you did.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
think
doubt
you know
about
me
that.
well enough to know, like, I was like, oh, and then I'm going, oh God. And then what everybody else, I'm like, oh, it's the same question for everyone. Oh, I can't wait to hear what everybody else.
You blew me away. Prescott Bush and like, oh my God, you went so deep. Mickey, I'm going to say the same thing as well. Both men and women, you inspire. There's no doubt. And I think it's really cool that you know yourself well. You're very confident. You're very giving. And I think that's kind of what people need right now. They need to draw upon those like you who have such an influence and be able to say, you know what, there's someone who's going to tell you you're going to make mistakes and that we have flaws. You can embrace those. And I think that's why you resonate with the masses. You're so relatable because you don't mince words. There's nothing phony or pretentious about you. And you wear your heart on your sleeve. So thanks for being able to supply that in droves, in healthy droves.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I've definitely made my fair share of mistakes and failed forward by the grace of God a lot of times. So,
Well, you know what? I once dated somebody. This is true. I once dated
Oh, Lord,
somebody.
I was like, where's this going?
Yeah, well, I made a mistake. A great human being. I let her go because she rationed the last 10% of her toothpaste more so than the first 90% of the toothpaste. She had to get that last squeeze in. She had to squeeze that last bitty. I'm like, why can't you just buy new toothpaste? Why do you got to ration that last 10%?
Time it takes to go to the store, and it's just, just in case.
But I got karma as a you know what, because it happened to me 5 years later with somebody else. They let me go. They couldn't stand the fact that at 1 minute and 57 seconds, I had to open the microwave and get my meal out instead of waiting the full 2 minutes. I can't let the microwave tell me what to do, Mickey.
Right. Well, then you have to deal with the whole beeping thing. I do the actual opposite. I put it in the microwave and then I forget it's in there. And then a half hour later, it's still beeping at me. I'm like, where's my coffee?
I hate that. I know it's really annoying. It's trying to control our day. But my friend, thank you for carving out this time. I hope to see you really, really soon. And thank you for being you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
Mickey. You got it, my friend. Great Mickie James, guys. Johnny Damon. Same thing I'll say about Mickey, right? Like it's so cool to feel like after 2 hours, we really know each other, man. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And thank you for your presence because it's calming, it's easing. Again, there isn't a superficial bone in your body. You know people, man. You really get to appreciate human beings. I think you see people for who they are, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. It's the way my parents taught me. So, and that's who I am. So it's, this was another great show today. Great panel. So thank you very much, Avi and TKN. I mean, you guys are doing great.
Thank you, my friend. You had a nice time tonight?
Yeah. Had a great time. And now all the kids are home from school. They're ready to go fish and have some fun.
I love that. It's all about family. My friend, stay safe, and I will see you soon.
Thank you, buddy. Have a great
Johnny.
one.
You too, bro. Great Johnny Damon, guys. We appreciate Mickey, Johnny, and Muggsy. Guys, before I depart, just know this. Obviously, eat your Progresso soup. We know that. But beyond that, make sure you stay human. Make sure you stay human, and make sure you remind yourself why you're a human being, because being a human and staying a human are two different things. We are human beings. We have to stay that way based on our behavior. Treat people with respect. Say thank you. Be courteous. Be polite. And it does not cost a dime to be nice to somebody. Give them a nice word via text or verbally. Please retain your humanity. It's so important. Thank you, guys, and we will see you very soon.
What a phenomenal night we have had.
Oh my God.
Country music, rock star, and pro wrestling legend Mickie James. You got a Major League Baseball legend like Johnny Damon, and of course, NBA legend, the one and only Mugsy Bogues. So,
did you see them all together? Did you hear them? They were incredible, and
they were
listening to each other, paying attention to what they were saying. And then when they all found out they had certain elements that were the same in their answers, and we'll get into that when we vote, but it was so entertaining when you're like, oh, I chose this too. Oh, where are you going with this?
Yes.
Apparently big fans of Woodstock.
Oh my God.
Really
Yes,
cool
Woodstock.
and I love the moment where Muggsy's like, I saw your match. I love that particular match. And that kind of love was also beautiful to kind of take in from Muggsy. They all were just fans of each other, and the camaraderie between all four was just awesome to take in. So what a match. Woo!
What a match.
It was great. Hello, Chad. We see you there in the comments.
Hello, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Get your votes in the comments
Thank you
section
so
now.
much,
Start
Mr.
typing them.
Phil.
They will be counted. They are being counted. Let us know who you are voting for topic 1 and topic 2. And stay tuned.
Thank you.
Because we have the outro coming up after all of the votes are tallied, after we find out who is advancing to round 2. 2 will move on. 1 will be eliminated. And what does the outro do for us, Howard and Joe?
It lets us know the exciting match next week. Okay, if you liked what you saw tonight, you'll know exactly what we're doing next week, and that's always an amazing thing.
And Will, you're gonna get to hear more about all that you see with our top 10s, honorary mentions, and so much more. And Christopher Farnan already has their vote in for Johnny Damon for topic 1 and Mickie James for number 2. Right on.
Thank you so much for getting that in. Classy Times, topic 1. My vote goes to Mickie. Awesome. Classy Times, let us know what you think of for topic 2, who your vote is for topic number 2. We'll let you know ours very soon. The other important piece of that outro is that we have, we said it before, we have our first look at next week's match. Mr. McCabe votes Mickie for topic 1 and Mugsy for topic 2. Thanks for getting that in to us, Mr. McCabe. Thank you watching very much. But so with that next look, we find out if next week's match is a second round match or an 11th hour match.
Oh yeah. And it's, an 11th hour match. Keep in mind, right? It's an opportunity to enter the second round, right? But in the second round, only 2 advance. And that's something you always got to keep in mind. So the stakes get higher as it progressively goes forward.
Yes, like look at that. Time even gets it too, because she has her topic 1 vote already set for Mickie. Yes, and topic 2.
And there's topic 2 also for Mickie. Thank you so much, Time. 2 in a row for Mickie on those topics. Eric's got his votes in. Topic 1, Johnny. Eric, can you clarify that a little bit? Is that Johnny for topic 1 and Mickie for topic 2? Is that what we're seeing there? Would love to just get a little bit of clarification on that. Because
yes, I'm getting that. Yes. Okay.
Are high. Howard, what is at stake at the end of this tournament?
A trip to Greece, trip for 2 to Greece. Okay, $15,000. It might possibly even go higher. All right, $15,000 is amazing money. Imagine even it goes higher to 20. 25,000. You never know. Oof.
And hey, look at that. Topic 1, Johnny for Phil, and topic 2, Mugsy for Phil. Yes. Look at that. There was no topic 3, but we appreciate you. Thank you so much. I wish we could have them all because they're so phenomenal.
Thank you. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Eric. Topic 1, Johnny. Topic 2, Mickie. Appreciate you getting that into us, right? Because again, the stakes are high. We want to get these votes tallied and counted correctly. Allison is also voting. She votes Mickie for topic 1 and Mugsy for topic 2. Thank you, Allison. Appreciate that.
Thank
so
you.
Much.
Okay, there was Mr.
McCabe. And Safari, thank you for topic 1 and Johnny for topic 2. Thank you. Thanks for voting and watching all of the conversations that have happened tonight with all of the panelists. Legend White says it might be close. It might be
think
close.
So too.
I call
But you know what?
I think it is.
Voting time. Here we go. Oh, Johnny just got me on both topics, especially topic 2 on the what ifs. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate that, Julio. And Giselle, it's now your turn.
Well,
can I vote for Avi,
Mr. McCabe? Avi will have his round 2 match, and when that happens, you can vote for him if he resonates most with you, because that is how we vote here. We vote with who resonates most with us, not what part of the topic we necessarily agree with the most, not who we like the best, who's resonating most with us, who taught us something, who really answered all components of the questions. These are many things that I keep in mind when I am analyzing the discussions and what my vote will be. And Howard, Joe, there's a little comment from Avi there. Are we eating Progresso while watching this? Did y'all see that chicken noodle soup?
I did. That
Not right now, but I did. I agree. I saw it too. Oh man, that looks so good. I want to fight over that last can.
I definitely do.
You're gonna enter the fight for that.
It's a whooping you're a one.
Kelly J. White. And Kelly J. White knows something about being a winner, doesn't he, Howard? Progresso is for winners, says Kelly J. White. And that is true. The king of the Black Bucks, Kelly J. White. If you don't know what that means, you need to join us on Wednesday nights. Absolutely. To find out what that means. And time. Classy Times. Time. Always love having you here. The I'd pay $1 million goes to Mugsy.
Yes.
That's the first.
Oh,
I don't think anyone's ever voted for someone there. That's great. I love that time.
All right. Hey, definitely.
Did you
Thank you
see-
so much.
Did you see his facial reactions?
Yes. Those were. I mean, those were just amazing. What he's
That's fair. That's fair.
His smile.
Oh, we got Will E. Wilson with that. He's got a comment there. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your votes. All right. So
Is it the hard part now?
Yeah.
It's on you. It's
now.
on you.
Whew. And I have to start this? It's getting harder and harder every week because the topics are so incredible. There are so many parts to keep in mind. And I want to make sure that the competitors are addressing every single component of these multi-layered and multifaceted topics that are becoming a mainstay of this. The questions are fantastic, and I love hearing them and where they take them and where they are going to go with them. So topic one, if you could stop paraphrasing a little bit here. Miranda, thanks for your vote. My vote goes to Mickey. Is that for topic one? Topic two? Both? Let us know, please. If you could stop a war, what war would you stop? What world leader would you take to a concert and a sporting event to help prevent that one war? Johnny Damon goes with the Vietnam War, and he's got a personal history with that. And then he is taking a current leader in the current U.S. President, Donald J. Trump, to Woodstock and the Thrilla in Manila. I didn't get a lot of whys out of Johnny, and I really needed a little bit more of that from him. But I like the choices. I think they were a little unexpected. So that was pretty cool and daring on his part. And then Mickie James, World War II. She came in and she said she wasn't a history buff. She said history wasn't her thing. She got this topic, and then she rose to the challenge and rose to the occasion. Came out with with a leader that most people wouldn't even think of. Someone kind of behind the scenes, went into the military industrial complex, also chose Woodstock as one of her events because it's the polar opposite of what was happening. So I really like that she gave the whys there and what she detailed about all of that. And then we have Muggsy also choosing World War II. So we have two people who chose the same event and then two other people who chose the same war. So this was definitely going to be an interesting night by the end of this first topic. He discussed the economic impact, the UN, and then kind of along the same lines as Mickey, say we take him to a Michael Jackson concert, the We Are the World tour, which I thought was really cool. They're both about bringing people together and finding this peace amidst this conflict. Hopefully this conflict never has to happen. And then an NBA game, seeing the unity come together. I thought that was really great. And then he was between two people for his world leader, the Prime Minister of Japan or FDR. Yeah. But for the topic, the one who was most thorough is getting my vote, and that is Mickie James for topic one. And then we have topic two. What ifs? We all have a what if question. We all wonder about that what if. And what's the biggest one? And how can something seemingly so small make that what if so much bigger? And I can definitely relate to Mickey in this one as well, struggling with chasing that dream that people tell you you can't have, you shouldn't have. It's in an entertainment field. How are you going to survive and doing it anyway? And then she said this lovely thing at the end that she doesn't want to make ends meet. She wants to make it so nobody else has to just make ends meet anymore. And I thought that was really great because it showed from the beginning, like, of course she was in it for herself and the love of it and what she loves, but also in it for the rest of her family. And that was beautiful. Muggsy, everything from what if his mom didn't choose to have him as a last kid because she'd already suffered 2 miscarriages, to what if I was taller? What would my life have been like? Would it have been easier? Would I have had to go through what I went through? Would I have had the same mindset? It's that's a really great question to ask yourself. Like, how can something such as your height make such a difference in life? And then Johnny hit me right away with his sense of humor. I knew he was going to have a great sense of humor. If you haven't seen his previous matches, you need to watch them. They're fantastic. And kind of the eternal struggle for some people who are in the trades or who have the opportunity to go into a sports field immediately after high school. What if I went to college? What if I got more of that formal education when I was the age that a lot of other people, my peers, are receiving that formal education? He went into specifics about college athletes being free portals, specifically mentioning Cooper Flag, how baseball is a failure sport, which was an interesting concept, a new idea. I liked that. And how you have to keep going. I'm pretty torn on this one. I think it's a toss-up for me between Muggsy and Mickie, but ultimately for topic 2, I am also going with Mickie James.
And that is where I disagree with you, Giselle, because I think that you got us completely out of the water how your setup goes. Like, Mickie for both topics? Topic 1 and topic 2?
It does occasionally happen. It is rare. It is rare. It is rare, but it does occasionally happen where someone is so invested
Avi,
in
is there somebody in the back trying to prank me?
that they blow everyone else out of the water. So, yes, on this night, Mickie James for both topics.
No, that is
All right.
not how this goes. Because you see, for my voting, which is infinitely better, I go with on the
There
first
is no
topic.
better in this Risotano. It is how you resonate with.
Always better. Look, it's got the
there
longer
is no
last name.
better
You got
when it comes
one
to voting.
first name
What do
over
we tell?
there.
What do we tell our viewers every
Right
week? What do we tell the
there.
engine
Go
every
Risotano.
single week?
Well, you know
Not
what?
better.
Sucks to
It's
suck,
who
I guess,
resonates the
because
most.
here's the thing. For topic one, you got Mickie James talking about World War II and then Woodstock. Okay, so it coincides a little bit, of course, as we mentioned, with Johnny Damon, who goes into Woodstock, but he also goes into Vietnam, a product of his thing. I feel that has a lot of merit to it, and I like that he also brought into it what I didn't see with Mickie, something regarding personalization. I love when people personalize and give me a big view, but then
Because she also chose a wrestling event for her sport.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Hideki Dojo, talking about getting him possibly, and then maybe also, which by the way, if you're not voting yet, keep voting, please. Let's get all the votes in. Come on. Yeah, see, that's how you do this. Come on, vote, and comment, please. Just because we're on the screen doesn't mean you can't comment. Also, and then here's the thing. When I get into this with the votes, Muggsy went into the times and how Michael Jackson's music was so immersive and able to bring people closer together with the We Are the World Tour. And then he also, as you mentioned, said that maybe he would bring in FDR for his world leader. But here's the thing that gets me hooked compared to Mickie is the fact that he couldn't choose. It was either one or the other. So you know what? I go for topic 1, Muggsy, and for topic 2, of each of them that brought up everything that had to go with the what ifs. Johnny went into the what ifs more with a sports mindset, so it was a lot more practical. But then Muggsy went with past events. But I think hit it right on the head. And what I can't dispute is that Mickie went into a solid explanation of being into what her life is, what it could have been. She could have settled for the small things. She could have done Cracker Barrel like some other people in Olive Garden. And yet she chose wrestling because she knew that she loved it. She liked watching it, and she saw what people did later for others. So I think that's where it goes. And hey, even Carlene votes Muggsy twice. So somebody's got me. I vote Muggsy for topic 1 and Mickie James for topic 2.
Awesome.
I am going to have to disagree with you, Joe Risotano.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm gonna
Why?
tell you why. Okay.
Tell me why.
First
Here we
and
go.
foremost,
Here we go. This guy again.
the moment you mention the military-industrial complex, my brother, that in and of itself, right there, you are opening up to so many layers. Okay. Because that's also so much part of what was happening during that time, right? She went into how how they a lot of these companies were pretty much selling their products to whichever company, and they did not care whatsoever. They did not pick sides, and
Yeah,
depending.
so Muggsy mentioned the UN, and your point?
He did.
My point being is that she went deep the minute she talked about the military-industrial complex, the minute she talked about Prescott Bush. And hold on. Yes, she is a wrestler. Yes, it's well, is she going to be impartial or not? But she got into specifics when she talked about the symbolism of Hogan slamming Andre. That in and of itself is that the way she painted that image to me is top notch. So my first vote goes to Mickie.
Oh, okay. So you're a Giselle sympathizer. I get it. Okay, continue.
Well, okay.
Nothing to do with us on the panel. It has everything to do with the competitors tonight and what they said.
Yeah, but there's an order, a rhyme, a reason, a rhyme time, if you will, to how
We
they
had-
set that. So
Great. I learned so much from those times. Like,
continue,
did you
Howard.
know they had all those accolades? Did you? He's going back to like their high school accomplishments and trophies and honors. Who does that?
Thank you. I mean,
These competitors clearly.
All right. Well, look, for my second topic, I love, Muggsy talked about there were two miscarriages, and it's almost like, what if he was almost never born, right? His mom still, desired to have him, and he came to be. And what if he never had to deal with those struggles? Would he still be the same man that we're seeing in front of us? And that's a powerful question that he was posing, and he really went in and talked about, dealing with those struggles, with that adversity, is essentially what made him the man that he is. Johnny talked about, something that, college is insanely expensive. And it was something I was thinking about, what if I never went to college? What if his experiences at college maybe changed his way of playing, perhaps? Maybe if he started playing college ball, would that have changed him as a player? I love the fact that he said, my mom is, means the world to me. I love the fact that that first, I apologies, he did actually play in college, Wake Forest, for 4 years. So that was also very influential in his career. But he talked about how that first paycheck went half to taxes and then half to his parents. And I thought that was very, very endearing. However, Mickie talked about, do I pursue the dreams or do I live that regular 9 to 5? Julio Negron, wildly expensive, and it's more about the money than it's about the actual education given. Man,
we'll get into that. We're going to get into that someday. We will.
I'm sure that'll be a topic at some point if it's not already conceived already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And he also talked about the dynamic of the dynamic of being a musician and how musicians are able to kind of deal with different scenarios and different dynamics in any situation.
Yes.
But ultimately, my vote goes to Muggsy. The struggle he had to deal with and asking that question, what if you never dealt with that struggle? That to me I resonate with that because my mom
essentially defeated his own argument. He started off by saying the easy thing would be like, oh, what if I'm tall? And then conclude it with, well, what if I was tall? How would I be different? So it sounded like he wasn't going to go that route. And the disturbance, the turnaround didn't really make as much sense to me when he got to the end of his argument.
Well, I think to me, look, the first beat in his argument was about his mom dealing with a miscarriage. And that already sets up a situation where he might not even have existed. He might not even have existed in this world, but his mom still pursued to have him. That to me already strikes.
And yet, here's the thing. Let's bring this closer. Come on, I'm gonna move over a little bit. Let's bring this in closer. Now, yes, there was that happened, but here's what we gotta get out of the way, Howard, is that he is here. He is here. That's not the point. I mean, even one Johnny Damon went into baseball can sometimes be looked at as a fetus sport, but he's still in that position. He's still or has played. So when it comes to people saying it coulda, woulda, shoulda, I mean, we got to give into the fact that these aren't what ifs. They're just different parts of life that are a conflict, So, I mean, granted, this is what we're talking about here.
Yes,
you're trying to give us a different.
Could have, Joe, but he went into specifics as to why those struggles made him the man that he is today. So, yes, part of his story is him alluding to, him growing up with a challenge in terms of his height, but still nonetheless.
Wait, are you saying it's challenging being a petite?
But hold on. But
there are many advantages.
It doesn't mean a what if. It's still not a what if because he's still there. He's still visible. He still was born into the existence. So the what if now is completely changed. The trajectory
the whole topic was about
is
what
different.
if.
Okay. Look, you want me to be honest? I'm going to be honest. Okay, I actually never shared this publicly. But my mom actually had a miscarriage herself before I was born. And the minute he said that, I had never heard anyone really talk openly about that. And so for me, that really just resonated with me. What
you really never heard anyone openly talk about having a miscarriage? It happens so frequently. It happens so much more frequently than we even know. It happens before women even know they're pregnant most of the time.
But I've never heard it here from the competitors, and I think that in and of itself is a powerful moment. To know that there in a sense there had to be a death, 2 deaths for your existence to be. That's pretty powerful to me.
But at the same time, there's despite that, he's still here. And what we mean by the what ifs should take place after the fact of birth. The what ifs should be the future, the uncertainty. If you're talking about the what ifs, would his mother be the one debating it?
After birth, because we wouldn't have any what ifs to consider in the first place if he wasn't here at all.
I mean, that's a good point.
I mean, look at this. Carlene says it made perfect sense. What if he was taller? Would things have been easier for him? Or what if he was taller? Would he never have had the drive to make it? You know what? I think that's a good look at it because, again, thank you, Carlene. It's after the fact. That's what we're getting into. It's after the fact. You gotta look at it in the now. So the question.
Well, I mean, Carlene made a great point. That adversity, again, is what made him who he is. But I think, again, there's his answer had this element of life and death. And for me, I mean, the stakes aren't, the stakes become so high when you're dealing with life and death. So to open up the way he did, I think it was just a very striking statement. To say there had to be a death before, I was born, before I existed. I mean, what if his mother just said, no, they were too painful. I can't go on with this again, or too emotionally draining. Again.
Yeah, but again, it goes back, Howard, it goes back to height, something that is past the point where he is in the picture. That's what we want to get into. We have to be in the picture
and
to have
started off his argument saying the obvious thing would be, and then tried to dismantle that, and then came back around to, so what if I wasn't? What if my answer to this what if question is the obvious thing after all? And it was a turnaround that just didn't work for me.
Yeah, no, I, you know what? Surprisingly, I can agree with Giselle there. You know what? Surprisingly, I can agree.
All right. You know, for me as a musician, when you start a song with a power chord, to me, that was the equivalent of starting an argument with that really distorted, high frequency, bam, power chord when he's talking about life and death. So that's also how I see it as a musician.
And where did it go after that?
It went into him going into the mindset that it created for him, struggling with that adversity. That's kind of where he went with a lot of his argument.
But it stayed on that same chord.
I mean, I don't think necessarily it stayed on that chord. I think he went into some specifics. I think, look, I'm also going to say this: the question, the amazing conversation afterwards with Avi and Muggsy, talking about how the buckshot incident and how he caught that and how, he survived past that. I think I also take into account the conversation that happens afterwards, because that's also, kind of.
I love the conversation that happens after, but that's a little lagniappe for me. That's a little bonus, and that's really interesting. And unless it directly correlates to the topic, I am there listening to their answers to the topic. And sometimes the conversation after draws it out. Sometimes we go in a whole different direction. If it takes it into a new direction and a new place, I cannot count that as a judge in the answer, because now this is a separate conversation that I am totally just engrossed in and want to hear more from, because what they're saying is valuable and interesting.
And it goes into credibility at that point, because I mean, like, if you're wandering from one place to the other, can we really count that? Can we really vote on that?
Yeah, it really depends on the course of the conversation after that topic, or between.
Love this.
Here we go.
It's all taken!
Here we go.
Oh man.
Who is advancing to round number 3 tonight?
Gave it their all. I want to see them all go forward. Oh man.
Yes.
Are you ready to see who advances to round number 3? Are we, Joe? Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Howard, are you ready?
I'll ever be.
On the edge of my seat, literally.
Engine, are you ready?
Ready.
Hint. He doesn't always have the best hints. They always make sense.
Let's see who we got.
He's got a hint.
Who's gonna be?
It isn't Big Bird the Bounty Hunter.
I hope not.
Although Big Bird was a bounty hunter, he probably would have already won this.
Or is it Prescott Bush? Well, we could only dream.
Can't win them all.
Come on.
Has advanced around number.
Who can it be?
Who is it? Who is it? Come on, guys. Who is it? 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 Who is it?
Nice. Got him. Woo. Woo. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Mickey!
What?
Congratulations, Johnny Damon and Mickie James, for advancing to round number 3 of the celebrity tournament. Mugsy Bogues, you were fantastic.
Yes,
you had some really great points in there. It was lovely to hear your stories and to have you share them with us. You are not gone from TKN. You are always part of TKN.
Not at all.
Thank you.
But you
and you know what? Hey,
in the celebrity tournament.
That was good. Thank you. And thank you for watching, because honestly, it means the world to see people like you involved in this tournament, Mugsy. And congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Congratulations to Johnny Damon, Mickie, and don't go away, because we have an outro that will show you not only our top 10 people that you chose as the top 10s for this tournament, but you get to see honorary mentions, and you get to see what next week's round is. And there's so much more, so much more in this outro, and maybe there will be even more, but you can see it all here and what next week's show will be right about now.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about?
got to be able to bring together a full militia, which happened in 1812. But you've got to have people with guns.
What's lost in all of this is the Broncos really have a great defense. It's in the top 3-4 in the league, and they're doing it without Justin Simmons, who's an all-pro. They lost Gregory last night. He wasn't able to play in the game.
And a reason why I chose Walter Cronkite, he saw this country in the 1960s, and so you witnessed a lot of this through civil rights, through a very turbulent time. And while I was there, a guy named Terry Chili, who played at Duke, was a counselor. And we met, talked about Duke. I got interested. He had the coaches come up and meet me. They got into the process, and I visited Duke, and I knew that I was home.
And I don't know what the hell we're doing with this planet. So Jesus either wasn't saying enough or too much, and Genghis Khan was just over the top, man.
So I start to just write stuff down, anything that occurs to me. You know, maybe my car gets stolen. I'll just write anything I know about cars being stolen, stealing, or cars, or about, just write a whole list. And other writers do this too. I mean, it's not unique to me.
I had a number of fellows, my contemporaries, who died of overdoses, who were killed on the road in car accidents. So I'm ahead of the game. I'm going to be 74 shortly. So I just thank God that I survived.
You know, I got my first week's check, and gosh, it was $150, and I wrestled like 5 or 6 times, 5 or 6 days, a couple times a night. And I thought, Jesus Christ, I can't make this. So I called Vern. I said, Vern, so he called Geigel, and then Geigel chewed me out. He said, what the hell are you calling Vern? And I said, well, he's my boss. Right. No, he says, I'm your boss. So from that point on, I started making about $500 a week.
So every feeling and every thought that we have has a frequency and a vibration that we shoot out into a world that is electromagnetic.
According to my channel, we pick our parents. And we pick our parents to learn, in most cases, what we don't want and what we want to recreate in our lives.
One of the most important things that Dr. King stood for, equal rights and the right to vote. And we have to be aware and cognizant of that road that he took.
But one terrific player scored more points in that decade than any other player of the 80s. It wasn't the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it wasn't Dominique Wilkins, and it wasn't Larry Bird. The one player who scored more points in the 1980s was none other than Alex English.
Deal with your stuff first. Deal with your demon. If it's demons, if it's triggers, fix them. Become aware of them, because sometimes those triggers makes you react to other things.
Mom opened the door. It's like, boy, what's going on in here? What's all that racket? And I said, the game is cheating me. I threw a touchdown, and it should have been caught by Jerry Rice. And she was like, well, okay, but you know what? Your controller looks like it's broke. You break it, you buy it. And I'm like, oh, I'm 8 years old. I'm a smart kid. I'm like, I don't have $8. I don't have $20. So I went into my dad's toolbox, grabbed a soldering iron, a screwdriver, and some electrical tape, and just went to it.
I've been lucky to have a support system, and as I said, it was my dad. But you know, Brittany and I, we stood on the podium, but I can remember standing there thinking, geez, I shouldn't be here alone. Like, I had a team.
Talking about any issue makes things less stressful, and it helps you to realize you're not the only one, and other people go through the same things. And I mean, if you're going through something, reality check is that you're probably not the only one. It's mentally healthy to be able to open up about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, man, we was tripping. I was tripping on, you know, the arguments that were had and this and that. And you know, so you can get through it. But I do think that sometimes the tragedy, the sadness, the bad times certainly make you appreciate the good times.
Yeah, my son is like, wait. Why does T-Pain want to know what you're doing? Why does T-Pain? I said, hold up. I said, I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Watch your mouth. Right.
They acted like when he left CNN, he died. There wasn't one mention that for 5 years, Larry King was working at Russian television with me.
So it's always been about money, but you know, it is a business. Once you accept money to do something, it then becomes a business. So it really isn't sport. It's a business.
This gentleman would appreciate and be inspired by, and like Robert, I picked the president, Teddy Roosevelt, a wrestler, a soldier, Rough Rider.
He watched me develop and move forward, and before, you know, he was able to see his last grandson.
Like, set your boundaries with people as well, and I think with yourself, not just with people, but setting those boundaries of like things that you want to accomplish, and maybe things that aren't really, you know, I don't want to say accessible, but, you know, having no limitations, but also knowing what those boundaries are.
You know, years later with my NXT run, I feel like obviously I improved so much. And then I was feeling like I was getting that recognition and, you know, love from the fans.
He starts talking about Dick Dale. And I'm like, and he's playing Brown. And he's telling them the genius of these riffs by Dick Dale. This is Jimmy Page putting over Dick Dale.
You know, said to us, listen, this next TV, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express have come in, and we want to throw you guys in the main event with them. And we were pretty excited about that. We had great respect for those guys.
I was over in Greece, and one of the reporters asked me, what city best describes your game as a basketball player? You know, because he's like, you've been all over the world. You played in the United States. You played in China. You played in, you know, I played in Africa too for a little bit. So I played literally everywhere. Tokyo, because it's fast paced. Everything's fast paced and electric.
Twitter and Instagram came out, and you're readily accessible. The person is, you know, that's sitting in his basement talking straight trashy, and people can say that it don't get to you, but you sitting here on your phone just scrolling and stuff, like, you see it. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, Mark. Mark Henry. My buddy, my friend. I'm here. I'm here. It was a couple years ago that you and I shook the world. Took this tournament to new heights, Mark Henry, my friend. You know how much I respect you. Mark, I am asking, no, I'm imploring the decision makers to book it. Mark Henry, Avi Klein. Round number 2. All we got is time. But even time is ticking away. Because round 2 is about to expire. But I won't. I won't expire. I will aspire to make it to the 3rd round against the very best. And that would be you. So the invitation times 2 for you. Again, next Saturday, Mark. You and me in a conversation. That's all I'm asking for. Until then, it's outro time.
Somebody is gonna get it, JW. And that time is drawing near, my friend. So sleep carefully.